You're out of my life, I'm so much better. Thought that I'd be weak without you, but I'm stronger. Thought that I'd be broke without you, but I'm richer. Thought that I'd be sad without you, I laugh harder. Thought I wouldn't grow without you, now I'm wiser. I'd be helpless without you, but I'm smarter. Thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chilling. Thought I wouldn't sell without you, sold 9 million. I'm a survivor, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I will survive, keep on surviving. I'm a survivor, I'm a survivor, I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I will survive, keep on surviving. Thought I couldn't breathe without you, I'm in heaven. Thought I couldn't see without you, perfect vision. Thought I couldn't last without you, but I'm lasting. Thought that I would die without you, but I'm living. Thought that I would fail without you, but I'm on time. Should be over now, but it won't stop. Thought that I would self-destruct, but I'm still here. Even in my years to come, I'm gonna be here. I'm a survivor, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I will survive, keep on surviving. I'm a survivor, I'm a survivor, I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I will survive, keep on surviving. Wishing you the best, pray that you are blessed. Much success, no stress, and lots of happiness. Not gonna blast you on the radio, not gonna lie to your family, no. Not gonna hate you in the magazines, not gonna compromise, not gonna diss you on the internet. No mama taught me better than that. I'm better than that. I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I will survive, keep on surviving. I'm things never seem to change, and every day I stay the same. Moonlight swelling through the trees, it never seems to wane. Sometimes I feel like I'm a silhouette, like my imitation leads me towards regret. Sometimes I wish that we had never met. I'm faking every step, stealing all the breath out of my lungs. Got me in the dark speaking in tongues. Tell me, when did this stop being fun? We're undone and uncomfortably numb. You're stealing all the breath out of my lungs. Got me in the dark speaking in tongues. Tell me, when did this stop being fun? We're undone and uncomfortably numb. Disconnected, out of mind, I'm unaffected by the times. Misdirect me on a dime, break me with something slight. Born in a compromise, raised on white lies. They say the road to hell is paved with gold. At 25 I feel content with caution, dodging my halo, dodging my halo, dodging my halo. You're stealing all the breath out of my lungs. Got me in the dark speaking in tongues. Tell me, when did this stop being fun? We're undone and uncomfortably numb. You're stealing all the breath out of my lungs. Got me in the dark speaking in tongues. Tell me, when did this stop being fun? We're undone and uncomfortably numb. Uncomfortably numb. We're undone and uncomfortably numb. The seasons change, we stay the same, so we're blue in the face. I need the pain to
Hi, I'm Monica from Ace Body Shop and Towing. We are a family-oriented business. We've been in business for over 30 years. We are located downtown Lincoln at 333 Lincoln Boulevard in Lincoln, California. We do automotive repair and 24-hour towing. Our phone number is 916-645-2859, or you can find us on the web.
Good afternoon and welcome to Beaver Stadium on the campus of American River College in lovely Sacramento, California. It's time for Beaver pregame right before the American River College Beavers take on the College of San Mateo Bulldogs. My name is Mark the Phantom Lowe. I'm here with Jordan Georgeson. And Jordan, no niceties today. We're going to dive right into it because the Beavers at 0-3, they picked a tough foe to try to break into the win column against.
Yeah, it's definitely a foe that's had their number in recent matchups, but they've also been great matchups that we've seen in the last couple of years, but it doesn't get any tougher than defending national champion. It's top-ranked team in the state, College of San Mateo. I think they're 1 or 2 in virtually every poll,
yeah.
And have been for the last couple of years. And, you know, they've really been the thorn in American River's side these last couple of years. So it's going to be tough, but, I mean, at the same time, never underestimate a desperate team. And when you're staring at 0-3, potentially 0-4, the Beavers are kind of in that category of desperate.
Yeah, Bulldogs took the regular season meeting last year 17-14, a real close one, and then in the playoffs got the 41-7 win, and they are, as you said, state ranked. We'll talk about them in just a second, but I talked with Coach Osterhout yesterday, Jordan, and Coach O is always a great guy to talk to. But we talked about a couple of things that have contributed to the 0-3 start. The two things I've kind of solidified, and let's see what you think about them. Offensively, the fact that we're going to be starting our third different quarterback in 4 games, and defensively, and Coach O said it better. He said, look, there's an expectation for defense here at American River College. We just haven't reached that expectation yet. So those are the two things I throw at you. Which one do you think is most contributes to the start?
I think the big thing is the quarterback. We saw last season the slow start a little bit, but the defense was holding their own while the offense kind of found its legs. And it's hard for an offense to find its legs when there's no consistency with the signal caller, and you kind of have a rotating door with that. And I know some of it's been because of injuries and whatnot, but it still makes things a little bit difficult. And it's one of those where the defense is going to come, but you see it at every level of football. You can only ask your defense to do so much when the offense isn't able to stay on the field. So I think the big thing is when you find a little consistency where even if it's not reflecting in points on the board, if you're holding the ball for a little bit longer, it allows your defense some time to rest. And I think some of what we've seen is a defense that's getting worn out when you get to the third and the fourth quarter.
That's a great point. Well, let's talk about a little about that quarterback carousel. You talk about Jet Harris, who was last year's starter. He started the first game, and when I think it was 18 of 37, and I got a couple of interceptions. And so Trevor Hargis came on and took over the second game. He played until he suffered an ACL injury, and that was in game 3. Whit Cruz, who is today's starter, comes out, and he started and played pretty well against Fresno in kind of a mop-up operation. What is Whit Cruz out of 12 Bridges High School in Lincoln? What does he bring to the table?
I think he brings a lot to the table. He's a very cerebral player, one of the smartest quarterbacks I've seen. And you have to be a smart quarterback to run that Chris Bean offense that they run at 12 Bridges, because they have a little bit of wing T, a little bit of spread, a little bit of everything, a little bit of air raid. I mean, it's tough. He's got some familiarity with some of his targets and some of his backfield today because he played with a lot of these guys in high school. But the big thing I think that he brings is his frame. I mean, standing at 6'6", he can lower the shoulder. He can run with the ball. He's got a cannon of an arm. He looks the part of a Division I quarterback, and I think he's a kid that just kind of needs the opportunity. He was at College of San Mateo last year, backing up Johnny Kett, who's their starter today. So I'm sure he has a little chip on his shoulder coming into this one. But, yeah, big thing with him is he's a player that's always had the talent. I think he just needs kind of the opportunity and the chance to show what he can do.
Yeah, one name or one number I think we should watch out for, talking with Coach O yesterday, Jaden Anderson, the wide receiver who we saw play last year, has injury bugs, sometimes has calf problems, and he missed some games last year. He missed some of the games so far this year. In fact, he wasn't available for Jet Harris in that first game. He came back in game 3 and was a great target for Whit Cruz. So Jaden Anderson, somebody we want to look at today offensively for the Beavers. And also, you mentioned Nathan Crawford, also from 12 Bridges. He'll be in the backfield. He's the leading rusher for the Beavers. But let's look over at the defense, and a couple of names that you and I are both familiar with is Gavin Malloy and Colin Bray, two guys who have got a couple of tackles for loss each, and two guys I think that are kind of key to this defense going forward.
Yeah, those are huge. We've seen in previous years the defensive line has really been what sets the tone for these American River teams. And Colin Bray and Gavin Malloy doing a good job of that. And another one up the middle, too, plugging the holes, a D1 bounce back, Akil Martinson, a Delaware product, went to San Jose State. He's a guy that really want to see get going. We're seeing him get a few more snaps, but finding a way to get that interior pressure is going to be huge because Malloy and Bray do a good job kind of as a tandem, but getting pressure from a different spot, too, that's going to make it hard for the offensive line to really hone in on who to guard, and that's where you can really start seeing a defensive unit start feasting on a quarterback.
And we talk about putting pressure on this Johnny Kett, the kid out of Vista Del Lago in Folsom, who's the quarterback for College of San Mateo. He's averaging about 215 yards a game. But the thing, though, when I look at these stats for San Mateo, Jordan, that really strikes me is nobody has very good stats. It's like, okay, this guy's okay, and this guy, you know, they have this guy's run for 130 yards, this guy's run for 87. It's like they don't have all that stats, but they have so many different people who are contributing and so many people on defense. Nobody has a million tackles, but they all have some, and there's some sacks here and there. It's just that it's almost relentless. They come at you at waves. They have a lot of different people who contribute.
I think that's the mark of a great team. I mean, you see it all the time, even at the high school level and at the NFL level. A lot of times it's when you have that attack spread out and things spread out, and it's just running like a well-oiled machine at some point. I think that's what makes San Mateo so scary is it's hard to game plan for a team like that when anyone can go off at any given night and anyone's playing just unselfish football and really just kind of spreading the wealth with each other. So I think that's going to be the key thing is if American River can find a way to really stop that or maybe take a couple key playmakers out of the game and get them flustered. But it is tough to scheme against when you don't really know who's going to be getting the ball a ton.
Let me ask you one quick question before we leave you here and get ready for the start of this one. If you're American River and you win the toss, you know most people these days defer, but if you're American River, do you want to defer and give the ball to San Mateo right away, or would you rather have with Whit Cruz come out here and try to make a statement on offense first?
I think it really kind of depends on what you've seen from Cruz in practice this week, but I think if you have confidence in him, I say you go out here and try to make a statement first, and I even say you maybe take a shot down the field in the first 2 or 3 plays. I mean, why not?
Now you're an offensive coordinator. Now, wait a minute. You're an analyst, okay?
Yeah, I mean, okay, we're not going to go with a Ryan Clark situation up here, but, it's one of those situations where I think you're kind of in a spot where your back's against the wall. You're 0-3 right now. You're playing against a 3-0 team that's the defending national champion. You know you can hang with these guys because you've done it over the years. The talent level is not that far out. So why not try to come out and land a punch and, get them playing from behind and maybe get that fire going, and also fire up your defense. See if you can get them to kind of smell a little blood in the water here and try to get this thing going and ignite it in a big way.
There you go, Jordan Georgeson right here. Mark the Phantom Lowe will be back after a short break. That's your Beaver pregame. We're back after a short break with American River College football presented by the Stones Podcast Networks.
You're out of my life, I'm so much better. Thought that I'd be weak without you, but I'm stronger. Thought that I'd be broke without you, but I'm richer. Thought that I'd be sad without you, I laugh harder. Thought I wouldn't grow without you, now I'm wiser. I'd be helpless without you, but I'm smarter. Thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chilling. Thought I wouldn't sell without you, sold 9 million. I'm a survivor, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder, I'm a survivor. success, no stress, and lots of happiness. Not gonna blast you on the radio. Not gonna lie to your family, no. Not gonna hate you in the magazine. Not gonna compromise. Not gonna diss you on the internet. No one taught me better than that. I'm better than that. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. I'm a survivor. After all of the darkness and sadness, sun comes happiness. If I'm surrounded by positive things, I can't prosper. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. I'm a survivor.
Welcome to another American River College athletics broadcast, coming to you live from Beaver Stadium on the beautiful campus of American River College in Sacramento, California. It's almost time for Beavers football. Today's game is sponsored by United Rentals, Ace Body and Towing, the Lincoln Potters Baseball Club, Grateful Bread, Super Taco, and Taylor Builders. To get you ready for today's matchup, let's send it up to the booth, to the legend, Mark the Phantom Lowe, to bring you all of today's action. It's Beaver football, and it starts now.
Well, welcome in everybody again to Beaver Field on the campus of American River College. I am Mark the Phantom Lowe. I don't know about that legend stuff. It's been a while. Jordan Jortson to my right, the writer for the Gold Country Media. You can read his stuff in the Lincoln News Messenger and the Folsom Telegraph and Auburn Journal and probably Variety and all kinds of different places. But excited to bring you this one between the American River College Beavers looking for their first win at 0-3 and the College of San Mateo Bulldogs. And Jordan, in our pregame, we kind of detailed the Beavers with a kind of a big mountain to climb.
Definitely a big mountain to climb here for them, and you're kind of in a must-win situation with this game, and the opponent across from you being the defending national champion, they're not going to want to give you anything. There's become a little bit of a rivalry the last couple of years, too, so you know that both teams are going to be fired up for this one, and it's never never fun to try to search for your first win in a rivalry game, but also no better time than the present.
And we're going to have the College of San Mateo. The Bulldogs will be kicking off. They're wearing white jerseys with silver numbers. And looking at their roster, they have several players who have the same number, offensive and defensive, the same number. So it's going to be kind of a challenge for us, but we like it that way. The Beavers in the dark colors with the white numbers, and they will be receiving the kickoff here, going from our left to our right. Looks like the Beavers. Colby Eckhart, one of the guys getting the return for the Beavers. And also Halim Thali will be out there, one of the wide receivers for American River College. They are deep to receive the kickoff from the San Mateo. Looks like Ethan Ling. That one is going to go over everybody's head all the way onto the inside of the track. That's Dieter Kelly who does the kicking off, number 36 for the College of San Mateo Bulldogs. So, Jordan, we're going to start it first down for the Beavers as they're going to send out. And this is kind of, I don't know if it was directly because of you advocated, but this is what you asked for. Let's give the Beavers a ball and see what they can do.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a happy accident. San Mateo won the toss and chose to defer, but I think the Beavers would have chosen for the ball anyway in the situation given where they're at. And now it's kind of time to see if we unleash Whit Cruz in this one or if they're maybe going to give them a little bit of a leash early on.
Well, something I'm used to from a couple of years of doing this. We saw a yellow flag on the field already. It was picked up and the ball is marked at the 25-yard line. Whit Cruz is behind center. He will quarterback in the shotgun. Looks like Elijah Gutierrez is behind him, number 34. We'll double-check that. He's got two out to the left, one in motion. He's looking to pass. He's got time. He lets it fly down the middle, and he's got a man there pushed away and intercepted by the Bulldogs. So, Jordan, they went with what you thought. They tried to go to Jaden Anderson. We talked about Anderson in the pregame. The ball about 60 yards down the field, but the interception made by the College of San Mateo, and they'll take over first down.
Yeah, and it looked like the matchup that American River was looking for in that situation. You got that one-on-one coverage, but Phoenix Rose, a Whitney High School product, so a local kid coming in there, just made a great read on that ball and nabbed that interception out of the air. So not how you wanted to start it with the Beavers, but I think if you're Whit Cruz, that gives you a vote of confidence knowing that Coach O is trusting you to air it out right away on that first play of the
game. That's exactly what you said they should do, and he was out there. It was a one-on-one situation with your best receivers. You mentioned Jaden Anderson, and we'll go back to that theme of local players on the College of San Mateo as we go through the game. But let's go 1st and 10 for Johnny Kett and the Bulldogs. He is in the shotgun at the 35-yard line. First down, motion. Turn around, I'll hand it off on the left side. Cuts through to the 40 and to the 43-yard line. A gain of about 8. Let's see who the ball carrier was on that one.
It looked like that was number 34 as we're kind of scouring the
number
roster here.
34, that is Ali Collier. Ali Collier.
Another one of these local products out here. He's out of Monterey Trail High School in Elk Grove. Great football program there.
5'11" sophomore, takes it for 8 yards, so it's second down. Let's call it 7, so it's second down and 3. The ball on the 42-yard line. It turns around, he's going to hand it to Collier again. He cuts that one back. He's got some room at the 50, the 45, the 40. Pulled down by a couple of Beavers, but not until he gets all the way down to the 38-yard line. A gain of about 18 and a first down for the Bulldogs.
And Collier's got plenty of room to run here. The offensive line doing a good job. And if you're the Bulldogs, I don't think you could have drawn up a better 3 plays to start this game.
And they're going to mark that about the 39-yard line. So Collier with a couple of runs and a couple of big gains. And the Bulldogs all set up 1st and 10 at the 39 of the Beavers. 13:48 to go, first quarter here. Just getting started. An interception and now a drive for the San Mateo Bulldogs. Going to hand that one off again. That one is Collier cutting it back. He's got some room down to the 30. He'll get knocked down right about the 30-yard line. Probably a little short of the first down, but another good gain by Collier out of the backfield.
Yeah, and it looked like Keo Martinson got in there to kind of get some pressure on Collier with a nice little cut. Just kind of left Martinson grabbing it, nothing there, and Collier really showing off his elusiveness out there in the backfield right now.
We talked about it before the game, Jordan. 13 carries, 83 yards for Ali Collier. So not big numbers coming in, but as you pointed out, you got a lot of different guys contributing. That's what makes a great team. So second down Hand off again and got room on the left side. Cuts back to 30, 25, 20. He's out of there all the way into the end zone. A touchdown.
And again, if we can take a look at this one here, the running lanes just really opening up right away for the Bulldogs here.
Wanted to make sure that was Collier again on the carry there.
I believe that was actually number 22 on that one. We'll get a name here. As you can see, just cutting through, just untouched on that. A good run, little change of pace there for the Bulldogs.
22 is Dominic Gonzalez, a running back out of Fresno Roosevelt High School. So he covers the 39 yards for the touchdown. The Bulldogs with the turnover and the touchdown. Extra point by Dieter Kelly is good. And it is quickly 7-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. And Jordan, we talked about Cruz giving it a shot at the beginning. He did that. It turned out to be not the way that the Beavers wanted to, but even more disheartening maybe is the way that they sliced up the Beaver defense on the ground to go 65 yards for the score.
Absolutely. I think if you are the Beavers, there's nothing like a rude awakening, and that was as rude of an awakening as you could have gotten on your home field right there. A turnover and then 3-play touchdown drive. They marched down that field with ease, and I think this is going to be, we'll see if that serves as a wake-up call for the Beavers here or if this is just one of those where it feels like a backbreaker early.
Yeah, Collier doing most of the damage. We call Gonzalez for the touchdown run, but give credit, obviously, to the Bulldogs up front because they were dominating the line of scrimmage on that drive.
They really have been. It's one of those situations where they just look like they're setting the tone early on both sides of the ball, and it's one of those where if you're AR, how are you going to respond to this? Because like Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Well, 2 minutes and 1 second into this one, and we're back at doing the same thing as we had 2 minutes and 1 second ago, which is a kickoff from Dieter Kelly of the Bulldogs. Thali and Eckhart are back for the Beavers. Another strong kick, and that'll send Eckhart about 7 yards deep, and he's going to take the advice of Thali and stay in the end zone to get the touchback, and the Beavers will come out for their second offensive attack of the day. The first one very short-lived and ending up in a possession by the Bulldogs. And Jordan, you called it at first, try the long pass, take a shot. What is your advice for the second series for the Beavers?
I think with this one, you try to establish the run a little bit, try to kind of get some more, I guess, safer plays in here and, you know, unleash Cruz at some point in this game still, but maybe let him get his confidence back up after that interception, maybe get some easy reads for him to try to start moving this ball.
And just to reinforce what we said about everybody contributing, Gonzalez had 2 carries for 27 yards coming into the game today. So there's Cruz. He's got 2 to the left. He's got a guy behind him. He'll hand it off. Cut back in it. Cruz held on to it. He had Gutierrez coming through. He held on to it, took a carry of his own, maybe picked up about 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, and that's Whit Cruz right there using that big 6'6", 235-pound frame. He's a quarterback that can put his shoulder down and isn't afraid to, and he shows it right there.
Call it a 3-yard gain, so Cruz gets it out to the 28. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Beavers. They send one out to the right, one out to the left with Gutierrez behind Whit Cruz. In motion is Torres, turns around, hands it off again to Gutierrez. This time he'll cut up, try to get to the 30-yard line. Don't know if he got there, probably marked a little bit short. So a gain of about 2, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5.
I believe that was Crawford in there on the carry there, Whit Cruz and Nick. Oh, no, you're right. It was Gutierrez. I had the number wrong because it was bunched up a little bit. But Gutierrez started out last home game that we saw, kind of providing the power before Crawford came in and gave a little spark, and it looks like he's going to be coming off for a 3rd down back here.
Yeah, Crawford, Gutierrez, and Zaire Eastman are the 3 backs that Coach O talked about when I talked with him yesterday about his backfield. Also, Trace Omar is going to be getting some looks at running back as well. He started out as a defensive back. 3rd and 5 for the Beavers. Cruz is back. He's looking across the middle. He's going to let it go. It's too high and almost picked off again by the College of San Mateo, and it'll bring up a 4th down for the Beavers.
Yeah, and it looked like San Mateo brought the pressure right there with the edge rusher, Nate Abbott, the 6'2 sophomore out of Golden Valley High School in Bakersfield. It looked like kind of a screen pass that didn't have the chance to develop because that pressure got in there so quickly. Abbott
is the leader in sacks with 4 for San Mateo. The defensive play, almost the interception by R.J. Witten, the defensive back out of Folsom High School, and he leads the team with 2 interceptions on the season. So the Beavers will send Landon Richardson back. He will be in punt formation. Averages about 37 yards a punt, and we're going to get a timeout So he came out, he got a couple of pretty decent plays, sets themselves up with a 3rd and 5, and then kind of looked like they didn't really know what they wanted to do on 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and it felt like that was kind of one of those where, maybe it looked like a screen that wasn't developing. Maybe they were trying to get Cruz something kind of easy to get a read on, but the problem is with those screen passes is a lot of times those linemen have to move to provide blockers, and when you don't have that first read available because the pressure's in your face right away, it can sometimes lead to some rush throws, and I think the Beavers are fortunate to be able to punt this football rather than giving the ball back around the 40, 45-yard line.
Yeah,
right
Witten
now.
with the try there almost picked up the second interception for the Bulldogs on the afternoon, and they will, looks like, get the ball in pretty good field position as they'll set up on about the 35-yard line for the return, and Landon Richardson, as we talked about, will be the punter for the Beavers.
It looks like number 7 deep to return for San Mateo. 2 number 7s on the roster.
Yes,
they don't have a
right.
special team 7.
You don't have a
unfortunately.
special team 7, so that's what we're going to have to figure out. Richardson lets it go. Back to right on the 30-yard line. Good coverage, but he gets around the first and the second. Nice tackle coming in from the side by the special teams at the 38, but he falls up to the 43-yard line for the San Mateo Bulldogs. And they'll go 1st and 10 from there, although we did have a flag, I believe, on the play.
I believe that was 38, Kyle Fong on the tackle there, kind of tripping him up. And depending what this flag is, if this is an offside and gets you into a 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 situation,
We're going to say that was
on the Beavers.
Oh, on the Beavers. So I think probably at 43-yard line, they're going to, San Mateo probably let that one go. Believe that was Miles Tucker on the return out of Amador Valley. He's the defensive number 7 on the San Mateo squad. Could have been Riley Long, the offensive number 7.
I think part of this is we have been pampered as broadcasters. It's typical in college for there to be an offensive and defensive player of the same number when they're on the field at the same time. We haven't had to deal with that yet.
No.
And, I think I think our inexperience is showing here, Phantom.
Getting our comeuppance, and well, we should be. It's going to be tacked on to the end of the play is the penalty. So it'll be marked just inside the 48-yard line for the Bulldogs, and then they'll have a short field for their second drive of the day. The first one was 65 yards and about 5 plays, ended up with a Gonzalez touchdown. Johnny Kett is the quarterback. Looks like Collier again behind him. In motion goes Riley Long. Kett with a fake. He's going to look downfield. He's got a lot of time. His shot is intercepted. It looked like, did he hold on to it? It looks like an interception for the Beavers, and they'll take over 1st and 10 on the 41.
And that was Cade Dutton intercepting the Vista Del Lago product, the Folsom product with the interception. So 2 kids from the same town but making different plays. And if you're the Beavers, that is just what we drew up. If we can take another look at that right there. I think Kett wanted to go deep with this one. The way he dropped back at first, ends up settling for something underneath, but Dutton just jumps on it right away. You can see, I think he wanted that deep man right there. Instead, Dutton coming in, sitting in that flat, and just finding a perfect read for that interception. Won't find it much easier than that for him.
He had a lot of time. If you're looking at a plus on the San Mateo side, he had a lot of time to pick out his receiver. He picked one that was actually double covered, which was surprising. Okay, so here's Cruz for his 3rd tryout here with the Beavers offense. 1st and 10, right about the 41-yard line. He's got one back. He's going to hold on to that. He cut it out to left flat, completed to, I believe that's Jaden Anderson out there. At the 50-yard line, it'll be a gain of 9, so a plus play for the Beavers.
And I think that's the key right now. Cruz has, showcased his arm a little bit. The unfortunate interception in a one-on-one jump ball right there. So let's let him get his confidence back a little bit. No crazy screens where you're feeling pressure right away. Get some quick releases and let him string a few completions together and start to kind of build himself up to what he can do.
Marked right about the 49-yard line. He'll set up his 2nd and about 2, maybe a long 2 for the Beavers. Single back behind Whit Cruz, the freshman from 12 Bridges, making his first start of the season. He's going to hand that one off. And as the ball's knocked away on the ground, Mateo is going to pick it up, and Whit Cruz will have to make the tackle. So the Beavers with another error on offense, and the Bulldogs take advantage as they always do.
I believe that was Jackson Holloway from Chula Vista, California, on the recovery right there for San Mateo. Just ball stripped away, and I don't know if we can get the replay here. It might be tough to tell who knocked that one loose. Looked like just a well-placed kind of punch as Crawford was running there. And I believe that was coming off the edge right there. That might have been Beau Savay on that. I'll have to double check. It's tough to tell with the silver numbers, but it was the edge rusher right there on that side that jarred that loose in a huge swing for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs turn it right back around on the Beavers, and they'll take over 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Ked, who's coming off the interception, he's going to turn and hand it off. And nicely job by the Beavers. I think that's Collier again on the carry. The Beavers in there for a nice play, maybe a loss of 1.
Yeah, and that was Akio Martinson kind of leading the swarm of defense. I think everyone on the defensive line ended up getting a helmet on him right there. And if you're the Beavers, I think that's what you want to do to kind of, stand your ground a little bit here and see if you can force them to settle for a long kick.
I don't think, Jordan, we thought in the first 5 minutes we'd have 3 turnovers in this game. So it's kind of sloppy from that standpoint. Ket with the ball, 2nd and 11. He'll hand it off to Collier. He's trying the right side. He's got a little bit of room. He cuts it back at about the 15, and he's knocked down at the 14. Think that'll be a first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and Collier doing a good job finding holes there, and a good little block by, it looked like Tony Alejo on that, if I saw it correctly, kind of helping open up that hole there for the Bulldogs, and a fresh set of downs, and now inside the red zone once again for San Mateo.
Yeah, 1st and 10, the ball marked right inside the 15-yard line. Just the one back behind Johnny Ked. He's got a wide receiver split out to his left side. He has not completed a pass here yet today. Well, he has one to the Beavers. He'll hand it to Collier. He cuts it great, getting a good start down about the 10-yard line. He is knocked down by a couple of Beavers down to about the 9, so we'll pick up a 2nd and 5.
Looks like a little extracurriculars in there involving a San Mateo and American River linemen. And one thing I noticed, too, is how explosive these Bulldogs linemen are coming off. I mean, it feels like the moment he's already handing them off, these linemen are 2 or 3 yards down the field blocking their guys, and some of them are already hitting that second layer.
Yeah, the Bulldogs average about 143 yards on the ground every game, which is a pretty respectable number, and probably owing a little bit to that what you talked about the linemen. But the flag is dropped at about the goal line. Let's see who they're going to mark it off against. It looks like it will be against the Beavers, and that should give the Bulldogs at least close to a first. Yeah, it's going to be a first down marked right about the 5-yard line. So the Beavers, you turn the ball over twice, you really can't afford to pick up penalties.
Yeah, and they're already moving down the field in big chunks. You don't want to aid them and give them more yards, especially with penalties that come after the play.
So Collier's still in there behind Johnny Kett. First down and goal at the 5. Not surprisingly, a handoff, but a great play by the Beavers coming up from the defensive backfield and dropped right at the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal.
That looked like number 27, Takai Takahashi on that. A Whitney High School product, if I am reading that correctly. Yes, Whitney High School out of Rockland. So 2 Whitney DBs making plays for both teams in this one.
Knocked down right about the 5, so no loss. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. Collier so far running back on all but one play for the College of San Mateo, and has been mostly running. That has been their offense. And now we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like a timeout called by the College of San Mateo. So as we talked about, Jordan, we're 7 minutes into this one almost. We've already had 2 interceptions. We've had a fumble recovery, and that was the one so far from the Beaver side that really hurts, because you make the play to get the ball back, and then you give it right back.
Yeah, and I think that's the one that's really going to make coaches lose their hair at night, have the hair turn gray, keep them up, whatever it is, because that's one of the most frustrating things. We always talk about the turnover difference in football and finding ways to get those extra possessions. The last thing you want to do is find ways to give the ball right back. And, some of it is a tip of the hat to San Mateo, their defense. I mean, Rose made a great read there, and then the defensive end punching that ball out. But at the same time, if you're the Beavers, you got to be more careful with the football, especially if you've already turned the ball over once. Defenses, it feels contagious when they get stuff like this. They're like sharks at a feeding frenzy. They're smelling blood in the water, and you don't want to give them more reason to be more amped up, and that's when, this can really start to snowball.
And the thing that the Beavers now need more than anything, I think, no matter what side of the ball it is, they just need some positive plays. They need something to go their way. But one thing go their way, and then they gave it right back. So, they're looking to trying to turn the tide a little bit. And the Bulldogs will come out here 2nd and goal from the 5. And now we're going to have a timeout by the Beavers. It looked like they had trouble figuring out who was supposed to be on the field.
Yeah, I think so. And I think some of this is a little bit of the chess match of football when you get into this position. because it's kind of, seeing which personnel San Mateo comes out with, how's AR going to match it. And the big thing, too, with it being second down from the, looks like 5 or 6 yard line is, how does San Mateo want to approach this? Are they looking to gain all 5 yards right here? Are they content, doing something where, hey, maybe this is a 2-play setup to try to get this touchdown? So I think a lot of this is kind of seeing what the other side is doing and seeing who kind of flinches first.
Well, from the most part of what we've seen so far, the Bulldog running game has been pretty explosive. They've been opening up the holes. Now, the Beavers have made a couple of great individual plays to get a couple of tackles for loss. But for the most part, if I'm San Mateo, I'm sitting here going, well, I've had Collier pretty much running through the defense the entire game. So I'll just go ahead and give it to him and see how that works out.
I'm kind of with you there. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. And the best way to break in a new starting quarterback and give him some confidence with Ket being his first year as a starter is to give him a really good running game. So, he doesn't have to worry about bringing the team back in some of these.
So he'll come out here with the 8:12 to go in the first quarter. Bulldogs already up 7-0. Collier, they're back behind. And there's a motion and a handoff on the right side. That is long. He'll come around the right side and get into the end zone for a touchdown. That is number 7, Riley Long, the wide receiver. And the Bulldogs have put 6 more up on the board. They lead at 13-0, pending the extra point from Dieter Kelly.
And the other impressive thing right there, how about the block from Jeremiah Hill there on the outside, a receiver blocking for his fellow receiver to get him, and it kind of just bought him just enough time to get to that pylon, get to the end zone there.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that if you're the Bulldogs, you've got the running game going so well, and then all of a sudden you throw this extra wrinkle, and the defense doesn't know who to follow. They're following Collier because he's been doing it all the time. And Long got in there, and as you said, aided by a good block, he scores it. Kelly puts it up and good. He is now 13 for 13 on the season, and as we are 8:07 to go, still in the first quarter. We've had 3 turnovers. We've had 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately for the Beavers, the touchdowns both by the Bulldogs, and San Mateo leads at 14-0. And Whit Cruz will lead the Beavers back out here again, Jordan, and just try to attack. The only positive right now is there's a lot of time left in this game.
Yeah, definitely. A lot can still happen in this game. And I think if you're the Beavers, the important thing here is to definitely don't want to be too aggressive, but you also don't want to be just too conservative and look like you're kind of throwing the hat in. So find plays where you can get Cruz to get some of those chunk yards, give him some confidence, let him move down the field. But I think the big thing right here is finding some continuity and getting this offense on the field for an extended amount of time. And this defense has been on here. I think we played 7 minutes this game. It feels like AR's defense has been on the field for 5.5 of those minutes. So finding a way to get this offense on the field and just give this defense some rest, too, that's been on their heels already.
And at the other side, that also is going to give you what I think, and they need some positive plays. They need something to go their way on offense to see, some success. They had 1 pass. It was about 8 yards that was completed, but other than that, really nothing has gone their way. Here's Kelly, kick it off. He's been in the end zone both times before, and he'll be in the end zone again as Eckhard will get it out of the back of the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Beavers at the 25-yard line. Whit Cruz is the quarterback. Let's see if we have any changes out there for the Beavers.
It's like one thing is we have Zaire Eastman in at running back. That is a name that I don't think we called. I definitely didn't call it very much on the Sequoias game on opening weekend, if at all.
Eastman, Eastman is a freshman out of El Cerrito, 11 carries, 39 yards. He's also caught 7 passes out of the backfield for 49 yards, and so he's been utilized in that capacity as well. And here's Cruz in the shotgun. He's got a couple of receivers split out to the left side. Motioning back from left to right, he'll hand that one off. Up the middle, stacked up right about the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. So, again, as we still have a little pushing and shoving going on, but the gain, I think, is going to be bottom line 1 yard, so a 2nd and 9.
And we talked about the push that we've seen from San Mateo's offense line. How about the push from the defensive line out there, too? Because, he really just ran into a brick wall right there, Eastman did. And it looked like the charge was kind of led by that interior pressure for the Bulldogs.
Sets up a 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Ball on the 26-yard line. 7:29 to go first quarter. Beavers trailing this one 14-0 to the College of San Mateo, who comes in at 3-0 on the year. Pressure coming in, and it gets it quickly out to the left side, and it's dropped by the Beavers. That was a forward pass, and so it'll just be an incomplete pass to bring up a third and 9. And Jordan, if you're trying to help your quarterback, you got to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, and when it rains, it pours. That was Demarion Williams right there, and you could see he wanted that one back instantly. I think he was starting to think about the run before he hauled that one in. Something you see, unfortunately, from time to time, but one that the Beavers are really going to want back, especially as you're trying to get back in this game.
Eric Phillips is also in as a wide receiver. He is out of Monterey Trail High School in Oak Grove, a freshman. He's on the field here as Cruz faces a 3rd and 9 with the ball on the 26-yard line. Let's see if the Bulldogs think about bringing some pressure. They do, and they are on Cruz, and the throw is going to be knocked down short of its target as Cruz was hit right when he let it go. That is number 1 who made the play, I think, for San Mateo.
And that was Abbott right there flying in like it looks like he was offside there, and I'm wondering if that's how he got that jump, because he flew in there unblocked like a heat-seeking missile. And credit to Cruz for getting that pass off and it not being a fumble or intentional grounding, because he got hit hard on that play, and he still found a way to get that off.
Abbott, as we mentioned, 4 sacks to lead the team. We can see why there. And as you say, a little illegality on that one, but at 6'2" and 230, that sophomore edge rusher is a load. And he unloaded on Whit Cruz. Unfortunately, took off too early, so the Beavers will have a chance to go on 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 4. The ball placed now at the 31-yard line. So maybe that's the kind of a small break that gives the Beavers a little chance to get some of that success that we're talking about, some positive results. Let's see what happens at 3rd and 4, and they're going to hand the ball off, and there's just nowhere to go as there's a bunch of Bulldogs waiting for Eastman, and that will be stymied at about the 29 and bring up another punting situation.
And that one looked like it was led by R.J. Witten, the Folsom product, once again calling his name there. But, I mean, the big thing here with this is the Bulldogs, again, just getting that push on the defensive line, taking away any running lanes. And if you're the Beavers, you can't squander second opportunities, especially when you're not going to get that many of them against a program as disciplined as San Mateo.
Are you surprised a little bit the Beavers didn't go to the air right there?
I am a little bit, but at the same time, too, when you're not really getting that pass protection as much, you don't want to be getting a new quarterback just taking this many shots this early either.
So Landon Richardson is in for another punt. He barely gets it away, and that one is going to be fair caught. It looks like at about the 37-yard line and handled there by number 7, Riley Long. And it'll be 1st down for the Bulldogs at the 32, or make that the 37-yard line, 1st and 10.
I think the big thing we've seen with these Bulldogs so far this year is they've shown the ability to score in bunches. But, I mean, this right here, they are just dominating all phases of the game right now. And this kind of feels like, as crazy as say this early in the game, this feels like a drive that could be a backbreaker for the Beavers if they can't find a way to get some footing defensively here.
Yeah, Bulldogs put up 24 in their first 2 games, came out against Modesto and put up 41 and outscored Modesto, who was ranked number 3 at the time, 20-0 in the second half to go away with that win and get to 3-0. And now they getting the ball again here with Johnny Kett in the shotgun. He's going to hand that one off, cut back. Beavers are right there, but it gets up to the 40-yard line. That a new running back, Jordan, or was that Allie Collier again?
I believe that was Gonzalez again. I'm hearing some chatter. We might have had a flag in here. Refs are all staring at each other, and I don't think they're making dinner plans.
Staring, they're conversing. They're talking about, you journalists, you media people, you're always trying to take shots at the refs. Oh, wait a minute, it's against the Beavers, so maybe you were right. It's like an unsportsmanlike conduct, and that one's going to go all the way down to the 46-yard line. The flag is at about the 48-yard line, and the Beavers will be the perpetrators here, and it'll be 1st down at the 46 for the Bulldogs. And Jordan, it's nice to say, if you have a team that's moving the ball at will, you don't want to give them extra yards, free yards, and that's exactly what just happened.
Yeah, and I think the key right here, too, is you're going to be frustrated with how this game's going, but you can't let it boil over and turn into costly penalties like that.
1st down, ball in the 46 for the Bulldogs. They lead it 14-0, under 6 minutes to go here. Kett is going to back to pass. He's got time. He gets it out there, knocked down, intercepted again by the Beavers. The Beavers had one guy reach up and knock it down over his head and then grabbed by the Beavers, and they got a 1st down coming up at about the 45-yard line.
And let's take another look at that, because that looked like it was going to be a chunk play right there, and Brent Green just comes in, and it looks like he almost rips this away from San Mateo's receiver right there on that. I think Kett was looking for number 5 right there, which is Josh Tucker. And Green just comes in and swipes that one away, and the breath of fresh air that the Beavers needed. Now, again, you've got another opportunity by forcing a turnover. You cannot squander this opportunity if you're AR.
Especially as unexpected as those two opportunities they've got are, is intercepting a guy who is a great passer and had plenty of time to throw the ball, and great plays on the defensive end by the Beavers. So Cruz back out there. He's going to turn. He's going to hand up the middle to Eastman, I believe, but there's really nothing going on there for the Beavers. We've got a flag coming in late. Maybe that's a little over-exuberance from the Bulldogs. We'll wait and see.
And it looked like leading the charge on that was Malachi Ross Graves, D lineman out of Santa Cruz, California, from SoCal High School, I believe is actually pronunciation. Great program down there. Just went to a state championship a couple years ago.
We got a face mask on the Bulldogs, and so 2+ plays in a row for the Beavers. 1 interception, 1 face mask. That's going to take it all the way down inside the 40-yard line. So the Beavers will have a 1st and 10 from the Bulldogs 38.
And first time they've crossed the 50 today and been in striking distance. So this is one of those where now I feel like if you're Coach O, you can kind of open up this playbook a little bit where you haven't gotten a chance to yet.
Yeah, you got to kind of find something that's working a little bit. Yeah, because Eastman has just been stymied, trying the middle so far. So Cruz with the ball, 1st and 10 at the 38. He's going straight back to pass. He's looking to kick it out to the right, and that's intercepted by the Bulldog. And there is nothing in the way of a touchdown for San Mateo. That is number 16. That is Jalen Green, who's listed as a wide receiver, and he took it all the way back.
I believe, Phantom, that was actually Trayvon Watson on that, the DB out
15.
of Antelope.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about that, the last time Whit Cruz started a game on this field was the Optimus High School All-Star game, and Whit Cruz threw 2 touchdown passes to Trayvon Watson as a receiver in that game, and something he wanted to avoid in this one. But Watson just made a great read on that play on the out route, a tough throw to make, and the DB makes him pay for it, and now Beavers in a 3-touchdown hole.
Yeah, great play by Watson, as you mentioned, number 15 of the Bulldogs. And again, just when the Beavers get a plus play and then a penalty, turns around and gave it right back on a fumble before, and then the interception by Watson. And Dieter Kelly's looking to make it 21-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. We still have 5:05 to go here in the first quarter of this one from Beaver Stadium. That is up, and that is good. So with the score 21-0, we're going to take a short break here from Beaver Stadium. 5:05 to go. Bulldogs 21, Beavers nothing. Back here at Beaver Stadium, Mark the Phantom Lowe along with Jordan Jorgensen. So far, it's all Bulldogs. They lead at 21-0. Dieter Kelly getting ready to kick off for the 4th time here as the Watson interception return, the 3rd touchdown for the Bulldogs. Kelly drives one. That's going to get into the end zone again. So for the 4th time in a row, the Beavers will start 1st and 10 from the 25. And Jordan, just guessing, maybe you just, if you're the Beavers, you come out here and you just, the game's nothing, and you just kind of play it that way right now.
I think you kind of have to. And, you know, the tough thing is Cruz has had a tough go right now, and some of these have been great defensive plays. Some of these, too, have been maybe a few mistakes you see from nerves in a first-time quarterback, but then also he's got to get some help from some of his guys. We've seen some drop passes. We've seen pressure in his face right away, and it's hard for a new starting quarterback to succeed when you're dealing with some of this stuff outside of your control in a way. So the big thing is just finding a way to get him to settle in this game, because you need some continuity on offense.
It's like Gutierrez is back in the backfield with Whit Cruz. He'll get the handoff, move around and get a little bit of a daylight there and get up close to the 30-yard line. So a nice run on first down for the Beavers, sets up a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, nice little run there for AR, and I was trying to get a look at the number. It looked like it might have been 23 or maybe 33 on there, but both those players are, one's listed as a wide receiver, one's listed as a running back. Might have been 33, Troy Summer.
Let's see, Summer, as we said, he was a defensive back, and Coach O said he was going to try him in the backfield, so that may well be. And a gain of 5. Here comes some pressure, and the ball is mishandled, and the handoff is to Sommer, but he's going to be knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Gets back up to about the 27-yard line, but a mishandled snap doomed that play, and actually Cruz was pretty lucky getting that ball away.
I think Cruz, actually, they're going to get him because he recovered that from his knees, and that would have made him down right there. And again, this is just one of the frustrations where when you're breaking in a new quarterback, you don't want snap issues. You don't want drop balls and little things like that. You want to make things basically as perfect as possible for the quarterback to be able to do what he needs to do. And it's tough to do that when you have a new quarterback in.
Yeah, and when you're talking about playing San Mateo, the other team is not going to make it as easy as possible. We go 3rd down, 10 yards to go, ball on the 25-yard line. Let's see if the Bulldogs bring pressure, and it looks like they are right up the middle. Cruz has time, though. He hits a slant play to Anderson, and Anderson can't hold on. And to your point, Jordan, you got to hold on to all of us, and you got to help your quarterback. As Anderson went one-on-one, and it looked like he had an opening there about the 35.
Yeah, and it looked like Anderson right there. That would have been enough for a first down, or at least to get him into 4th and 1, 4th and 2 territory. Good defense there by Phoenix Rose, too. Kind of read that one and helped land a little hit to make that a little tougher to hang on to for Anderson. But at this level, with the room he had, that's when you got to hang on to.
Yeah, and a defensive back, your life made easier if you know your team's bringing pressure and the quarterback's not going to have a lot of time in order to hit his 2nd or 3rd option. So Landon Richardson in again to punt from his own 10. He'll strike it, and he was run into. There's going to be a penalty. The Beavers are going to have another chance, as definitely Landon Richardson was run into by the Bulldogs.
And it looked like that also bounced off a Bulldog as well.
It bounced off the Bulldogs, and the Beavers grabbed it. So let's see. Beavers got a couple of options here on where they're going to get the ball.
I like to
probably take the play, yeah.
I like to think Coach O is going to take the play on that one. Recording it, recovering it, looks like it was Jason Evans. It looked like number 45.
It looked like that ball took a bounce backwards into the Bulldogs, and the Beavers very alertly jumping on that. It's marked at the 44-yard line. So, Jordan, we've seen a couple of positive plays for the Beavers strung together, but they haven't really been able to do anything. They're going to get another try, and we're going to have a mark-off. Also, they're going to mark off the roughing the kicker penalty after the ball is recovered. So that'll get them inside the 30 to about the 29. So they pile a couple things on the Beavers' plate and say, go ahead, have at it.
And we see how quickly this game can change momentum. This is the type of thing right here. I mean, the football gods are giving you a gift on the silver platter right here. You need to find a way to turn this opportunity into points.
They gave him 2 gifts on the same silver platter, and the Beavers take over. So it's Cruz. Let's see if it's Somar. I think it is number 33 behind him. We haven't seen a lot of Crawford today, and that one is good pressure by the Bulldogs, and the Beavers with the handoff. The exchange a little bit rusty there, and the Bulldogs, you can't make that kind of mistake against them. They were in there quickly. It's a big loss for the Beavers.
And Abbott came in there and kind of provided the pressure. I think that was a design handoff, and Witt saw that pressure, hung on to it, and then instead he ends up meeting up with Marshawn Dunning, who comes in and brings him back for even a greater loss. So, I mean, tough because it's a good heads-up play by the quarterback to recognize that, but when you have another one flying in, just a tough break there once again.
Yeah, he either saw that he couldn't complete it, or he just didn't complete it, and it ended up being a loss on the play of about 9 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 19. The ball now on the 38 of the Bulldogs. Cruz back to pass. He's got time, but I think somebody took off too early from the left side. I think probably the left end, of the Beavers took off early, so that's going to make it 2nd and 24. So again, Jordan, a positive play, something positive happening, and then 2 plays in a row negative.
Yeah, and this is one of those things now where now you've already backed yourself up outside of field goal position when you started this drive-in field goal position. Now at this point you're looking for anything to just kind of help salvage this and make 3rd down a little more manageable. You don't need it all back at once, but you really need to get something here.
So it's still 2nd down, 2:24 to go, and counting here in the first quarter from Beaver Stadium. Mark the Phantom Low along with Jordan Georgeson. Riley, the engineer, is on the job. Here's Cruz is going to take off up the middle. He is pulled down right about the 40-yard line, and he'll get a couple of yards, but he paid for them.
Yeah, and that was Dunning once again, a big body in there, tough guy to have to line up against. I mean, he listed on the roster at 6'2", 275.
And it looked like he did a little cattle rustling or something because the way he pulled Cruz down, it was 6'6" and 235. No easy target, but he pulled him down with ease and sets up a third down.
Surprised he didn't try to do the tying of the feet together.
Just take it too far. They've got to get to the 20-yard line for a first down. So almost 20 yards to go for the Beavers. Cruz back to pass. He's got a little bit of time. He's going to let it go. And he's got Anderson open, but it comes over, intercepted by the Bulldogs to the 20, 25, 30. Got a convoy up the sidelines. Beavers got one guy to get him. And he knocks him out at the 41-yard line. And that is number 2.
Jackson Holloway, I believe that was.
Holloway waited back there. Anderson came out, and let's take another look at that one, Jordan, and walk us through how that happened.
Yeah, it looked like Cruz had Anderson right there. Holloway kind of trailing back from his zone coverage, finds a way to get underneath that, and maybe a little bit underthrown there too, but just another great read too by the Bulldogs. And again, another drive where they're setting themselves up in plus territory early. And I mean, if you're AR, you couldn't have written a more frustrating start to this game.
Yeah, they got the punt recovery and then the penalty. They were down about the 29-yard line, and the Bulldogs will take over at the 40-yard line of the Beavers. Looks like Gonzalez in the backfield with Johnny Kedus. If you told me he was going to be 0 for 2 with 2 interceptions, I think the Beavers had a pretty good chance. Scooting around the right end, cuts it back and gets away from one tackle, and Gonzalez is going to get a gain of about 3. They'll mark it at the 37, a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and they're really kind of riding these different guys in the backfield right now. It doesn't matter which one they're plugging in. They're finding ways to turn everything into a positive gain. I mean, a 3-yard gain, I feel like, is one of the shorter runs we've seen today from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we got a couple of names, as we talked about. They have a lot of different people. Jamal Wiley was their leading rusher coming in. I don't think we've seen him. John Stowers also. And Malachi DeMoss, haven't seen any of them. And Gonzalez has been getting the carries. He has a touchdown. And he's got another carry right there through the left side. He's knocked down on a nice defensive play by the Beavers. At the 36, it'll bring up the 3rd down and 6. That one could have been a big one, but a nice play by the ARDB.
It looks like that was Kyle Gerganius in there on the stop, the Intercom High School product. And I think one thing we've noticed when we're calling out a lot of these names, it's a lot of Sacramento area guys on both sides, but teams. Some familiarity with each other. A lot of these guys were teammates at one point or rivals in high school, and I wonder how much that's kind of playing into today too. Is you're playing guys that you know pretty well because you've seen them for the last few years.
Yeah, both quarterbacks going up against guys who know them pretty well, and both quarterbacks have thrown, I think they've combined for like 5 interceptions now, and that'll be the end of the first quarter here from Beaver Stadium. As we go to break, it's the College of San Mateo Bulldogs, 21 American River College Beavers, nothing. You're watching ARC football, brought to you by the Stones Broadcast Networks.
I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Placer County's best-kept secret is back for another exciting summer at historic McBean Stadiums. Loaded with fun for the whole family, local beer, wine, and eats. Fireworks, giveaways, theme nights, kids zone, and more. Come join in the fun and enjoy small-town baseball with Major League Entertainment. Tickets on sale now at LincolnPotters.com.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Come on out and join in the fun.
Welcome back, Beaver Stadium. Second quarter action. The San Mateo Bulldogs with the ball and the lead, 21-0. 3rd down and 6. The ball is on the Beavers' 36-yard line. Trying to get the Beavers offsides, didn't get with the short. He's got a guy down the sidelines. The pass is caught on the back shoulder, it looks like. And that is inbounds. A first down coming up at about the 9-yard line for the Bulldogs.
That was number 16, Jalen Green on that. 6'5", 195-pound receiver, so why not throw him a nice little ball up on the sideline and let him go get it?
Yeah, to our point, Green is the leading receiver coming in. He's only got 5 passes for 121 yards and a touchdown. He's only played in 2 of the previous 3 games, but again, not big stats, but they have a lot of guys who contribute, and Green with a big catch right there. Looks like that might be Stowers in there, number 35. Double check on that as Kett completing his first pass. He has his team in. He'll turn around and hand it off to Stowers. He goes right up the middle and gets down to about the 6-yard line and bring up second down and goal.
I do have a little bit of laundry on the field,
Okay.
but leading the charge on that defensively right there looked like number 94, Guy Fortson.
Familiar name for us from last year. And there's going to be a legal procedure false start on the Bulldogs, so that'll move it back. Well, it should be about the 14-yard line. Let's call it the 13. So wipe out the play, and it's a first down again, but now from the 13-yard line, first and goal. Stowers comes in with 14 carries, 45 yards. He is out of Overfield High School down in San Jose, California.
Home of Jim Plunkett, I believe.
Oh, very good. There's a pitch out left side and runs into his own guy, and there's a bunch of Beavers waiting for him right there saying, thanks for slowing down. We'll take over from here, and the ball will be marked back at the 16 or 17-yard line. Nice play by the Beavers defensively.
Getting fired up there was Shamonte Brown, the 6'5", 220-pound defensive lineman. Not quite as heavy as you see a lot of D linemen, but he's got that length at 6'5", and use that to help make that play right there.
So the Beavers making a nice defensive play, setting up second and goal from the 17-yard line here. Remember, the Bulldogs started inside the 10, had the false start penalty, and then that play by ARC. Got one out to the right. I think that's Jalen Green out to the right. Cat's going to turn around. He's going to look to the left on a little screen pass, but he threw it down on the ground. It looked like he had a receiver over there, but threw the ball too low, and it'll bring up a third down.
Looked like he was looking for the tight end B.J. Thurman right there, kind of coming off necessarily kind of a backside on the screen there. He had him open. Looked like he would have had some green there, but just not quite right on the timing with that play.
It looked like, yeah, the Beavers kind of directing the defense toward Jalen Green on the right side, and Thurman, who has a pair of catches for 33 yards on the season, was open on the left side, but Kett misfired on the throw, and they'll go to third down. Goal to go from the 17. And then we're going to get, I think, a timeout by the Beavers, as they didn't like the way things were set up. So the Beavers with the timeout here, 3rd and 7. Obviously, you know, you're down 21-0. This is a huge. You don't want to give them 7 points. They've got Dieter Kelly, who's a really good kicker. If they want to go that route, and they, you know, but 3rd and 17, you just trying to keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the important thing to remember here is, yes, you're in a hole right now, but 24-0 is still considered a 3-possession game with 2-point conversions, whereas 28-0 is a 4-possession game, and that's a different type of hill to overcome. And I think right now, a lot of what you're playing with the Beavers is, as much as a physical game on the field, you're trying to kind of get the mind game and the psyche right of, you know, make sure these guys know that there's still a lot of football left to be played, because you don't want falling into a 4-possession hole, realizing like, hey, we might be out of it, to where 3 possessions still is something you feel like you can overcome.
Yeah. Well, and you're, as we talked about, offensively, the Beavers are just looking for something positive. And defense could contribute to that by stopping the Bulldogs here. They have a 3rd and goal at the 17-yard line. Green out to the right. There's motion. Turn around and fake the handoff. Kett has got the ball, still rolling left. He's going to take it off himself. He is knocked down at about the 10-yard line. So Kett decided to put the ball in his arm and take off, and now we've got 4th down at the 10, and it does look like they're going to bring in number 36, Dieter Kelly, and try the field goal. He is, I believe, 4 for 5 on field goals this season.
And nice job by Kett there to call his own number. I think he didn't really like anything he was seeing out there in the backfield and decided, hey, you know what, let's just take it myself and live to fight another down, get some points up.
Kelly facing the 27-yard field goal attempt from the little inside the left hash mark here. Snap is good. The play's down. The kick looks good. And I got a flag thrown up there, and hopefully it's not the Beavers for roughing the kicker here. The kick did look like it was good.
I'm interested who this flag
Beavers
was
are coming off.
It looked like it came out before the kicker was bumped into, but they did hit him kind of similar timing. I wonder if it was just a ref anticipating it,
Why'd you tell everybody to go to their respective sides? It looks like it was a personal foul against the Beavers. Oh, against the Beavers after the play, maybe. Because if it's a personal foul on the play, they would just take a first down. But it looked like they said they're going to mark it off on the kickoff.
I believe it was leveraging on the kick, which is basically using, the offensive player. And I'm guessing.
Yeah, NFL on Sunday, yeah.
I don't think I've seen it yet called at this level, and assessing it on, they're bringing the offense back out.
They are, because they're going to give them a personal foul half the distance to the goal. So it is not after the kick. It was on the kick.
I know he had originally said it was assessed on the kickoff,
thought so, yeah.
But someone over there overruled him.
And now the Bulldogs are out ready to play, and the Beavers don't even have their whole defensive team out there. So what we have is a 1st and goal, the ball on the 5, and a handoff. Great defensive play by the Beavers there for no gain there. And it's 2nd down and goal. That was really disconnected the way that all happened.
Well, what's strange about that, too, is like you said, the Beavers were kind of flustered defensively, like they weren't ready to bring guys back in. I feel like there needed to be a little more explanation how we, allowing the defense to get back in. But
I thought that he signaled the kick was good and it was going to be assessed on the kickoff. Maybe he just misunderstood the penalty call from one of his fellow officials. 2nd down, ball on the 5. Kett looking down the middle. He's got a lot of time. He's going to take off himself, and he's got a lot of room. He is knocked down. Did he get over? Yes, he did. John Kett is in from 5 yards away, and it's 27-0 Bulldogs.
And he was close there. I think that nice little lowering of the shoulder and lunge forward was enough to do it. We can take another look right here on this play. Clean pocket for Kett, and he just finds a way to make something there. Was very close to the goal line, but looks like that little dive forward as he broke that tackle was enough to get through.
Dieter Kelly out here to probably a little disappointed he doesn't have the 3 points from the field goal, but he'll get the try for his 4th extra point. And that looks up and good. So at 11:32 to go till halftime, College of San Mateo, as befitting their #1 national ranking and defending national champions, they've come out here and they've pretty much dominated. They've had an answer. That's the thing that you talked earlier about a chess match. It seems like San Mateo has had an answer for everything the Beavers have tried.
Yeah, and one thing that is interesting about this is seeing how the Beavers respond to this moving forward. We've seen the Beavers on some wrong ends of games in these situations, but it feels like a lot of times they're close games when they're games that they're dropping. So the big thing here is how are you responding to this, because this is one where it can go one of two ways. This can be a game that looks really ugly at the end of the fourth quarter. This can be one where, San Mateo might be sitting there going, hey, these guys are showing some fight. And we've seen a lot of close losses for AR here, but how do you respond now after really kind of getting, thrown around here for the first quarter and a half or quarter and a quarter of this game?
Yeah, and we got 6 games left after today. I mean, and that's one thing that Beavers are looking at too. You're going to come out here and you're going to set the tone or just set up those 6 games. And like you said, either you go up or you go down, and that's going to affect the rest of the season. Kelly with the kick. That one a little bit shorter. I think that's going to be returned by Eckhart at about the 3. He'll come up to the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25. He's got room at the 30. Or make that the 25, and he is knocked down with a fine tackle by the Bulldogs. So it'll be 1st down. The ball marked right around the 25-yard line.
And laying the hit right there for the Bulldogs, that was Josh Rodriguez, freshman out of Pittsburgh High School in Pittsburgh, California. Great program there. And credit to Eckhart. He kind of ate that tackle a little bit and it bounced off it, but I think he kind of lost his footing when he bounced back, and that's what ended up costing him to go down.
Ball at the 24-yard line, 1st and 10. Looks like Jet Harris has come in to take over quarterbacking for the Beavers, the starter in game number 1. He was relegated to the backup status for this one. He is in here with 11:26 to go, the sophomore out of Dixon High School. quick pass out here to the left side. It's over Luis Torres' hands. So quick play, obviously called. Let's get a quick completion, but you got to bring the ball down a little bit as Torres, not quite 6'7".
Yeah, and that's one thing, we saw with Harris when he became the starter last year. It took him a little bit to ease into it.
Yeah.
The timing was a little bit off. It looked better in this first game this year, but then kind of got off a little bit. So the key with Harris is going to be finding a way to get that timing again and getting that rhythm. I think it's okay, to make a change with how this first half has gone to kind of see, but also you really want to find some continuity at the quarterback position. You don't want a revolving door there all season long, too.
So Harris with the second down, the ball on the 24-yard line. He's got one running back behind him. Sends Williams out deep to the left. He's going to try to get the ball. That is completed to, I think that's Eric Phillips out there on the left side. And we got a flag on the play, dropped at about the 36-yard line. So we'll see what that is. A completion, but not much of a gain for the Beavers.
No, that was another thing. The timing was a little bit off right there. Throws a little high, and on those little kind of screen passes right there, the timing is huge because you want it to be quick. You don't want to be wasting time jumping up to get the ball, trying to get your footing, and then getting your bearings a little bit.
The other thing about that, though, Jordan, that is, it's a short pass, but that's a long pass.
Yeah.
The ball travels a long way, and that's a tough pass, and we're going to have a big penalty on the Bulldogs. The ball will be moved out to about the 41-yard line. It should be 1st and 10 here for the Beavers. We'll see what the call is on the penalty. And the Bulldogs, kind of the only thing they haven't done right today is that they have had a couple of big penalties.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is, these penalties, credit to this defense, they have not found a way to make them hurt yet. They're really kind of responding well to these penalties and swarming to the ball carriers.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Jet Harris, spelling Whit Cruz out there as the signal caller for the Beavers. I think that's Eastman behind him. He'll hand that one off. Eastman come up. He's got a little bit of room and moves the pile a little bit and then moves the pile backwards. But once you move the pile forward, that's where the pile is. And the Beavers will have the ball at about the 44-yard line. I've heard people say that if you're going to let the tush push in, if you're going to push them that way, you should be able to push them the other way too, but that has not caught on yet.
I understand the argument for it.
I do too. I really do
like it, but I think it's a slippery slope because you lead to some injuries.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
But I am with you on that, and probably the best push this offensive line has gotten in the running game so far today.
At the 44-yard line, 2nd and 7, 10-15 and counting first half. Bulldogs lead at 28-0. Harris turns, he hands it off again, and this time the Bulldogs are in the backfield, and Eastman's going to be knocked back to the original line of scrimmage at the 41, and will set up as 3rd and 10.
And Danny New right there led the pressure, 6'1", 225-pound linebacker from Sarah High School in San Mateo, so not going too far for college, and he just went in completely unblocked.
Yeah. I really am impressed by the penetration that the front line is getting defensively for the San Mateo, because they're not getting to the quarterback every time, but they're getting in there enough times to make people think about it. And that time, just a great defensive play, as you pointed out. 3rd and 10 on the 41 for the Beavers. Harris looking things over. He's got 2 out to the right. He's looking back to the middle, though. He's got a little screen set up, a tight end screen. And that will get over to 50. I think it's going to be a little bit short of the first down, a gain of about 9. And you can see, I saw a bunch of tight ends out there, Jordan. Who actually was the receiver was Zaire Eastman.
I think it was, and credit right there defensively to Bo Save of San Mateo right there, coming in from the edge rusher position. He was in on that blitz, then he comes in flying in, and his hit on Eastman, I think, was what stopped that from becoming a first down. Save, too, an interesting story. Del Oro High School product. He was a receiver, switched to a edge rusher.
4th and 2, and the Beavers going for it. Frank Akuri is the quarterback. He hands it off, hit at the line. I thought he made it, but then moved back. I think it's going to be short. I thought initially that the running back had it, but I think he'll be marked short, and it should be the Bulldogs taking over. Let's see, because it's going to be really close coming in from the far side.
And both sidelines showing conflicting signals.
It really is trying to see if going by the sticks over there. It's a little bit outside the 49-yard line, and that's exactly where the ball is marked. I think it's going to be a little short, though. As Akuri came in, the wide receiver used to be a quarterback, turned into a wide receiver. He just in there just to hand the ball off. And initially, Surge, I thought, was going to get it, but then knocked back by the Bulldogs, and it is just a little bit short. So it'll be first down for the Bulldogs, and that is inches, not feet.
Yeah, and, what's the old saying from any given Sunday? Football is a game of inches, and that's a showcase of that right there, and a tough break for the Beavers because that felt like a drive that you finally kind of had some stuff going right a little bit. Your O-line got a little bit of push, and it still ends in a turnover on downs and the Bulldogs getting this ball in great field position.
Yeah, and I know you say that, and you could say, well, it's fourth down on the 50, but no quibble at all about the Beavers going for that one, at this point in this first half.
I agree. At this point, you're looking for anything to get a spark right now for this offense.
Bulldogs come out. They've got it 1st and 10 at their own 49. Johnny Kett, the quarterback out of Vista Del Lago. He's got a touchdown rushing. He turns around and he hands it off to Ali Collier, who's back in. Collier picking his way, and he's still alive, getting down to the 35, still on his feet at the 30, and he'll get down to the 28-yard line in one of the best runs we've seen in a while, the best one certainly we've seen today.
My goodness, I think we might have to take another look at that one as they get it going. I mean, Collier right here bouncing it, reversing field. Let's count this. I mean, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
6 broken tackles on that before they finally bring him down. I mean, Ali Collier is having himself a day, and it's not even halftime yet.
21-yard gain for Collier, who has been the predominant rusher. He's been spelled by Gonzalez a couple of times in there. So it's a first down inside the 34 of the Bulldogs. They lead at 28-0. Kett's going to look to pass. He's under pressure, though. He gets away from one. Now he's rolling down the left side 30, and he'll slide at the 26-yard line. And that's a dangerous play right there, Jordan, because he's trying to slide, but the defensive man has already made the move, and I think correctly no flag on that play.
Yeah, I'm with you, and, maybe I'm a little biased because I was a defensive player myself, but the defense can only react so much to what someone's doing, and I think I'm okay with no flag being there because there's only so much you can do, and you can't really stop yourself when you've already started lowering your shoulder.
Well, I was a quarterback, Jordan, and when I played, the things they could do to a quarterback you don't even want to know about. They couldn't do those to those people.
Yeah, but you couldn't do the forward pass back then.
Well, they didn't have one, okay? Second down, Kett turns, hands it off to Collier, and we're going to get a flag. We're going to get whistled down already on this one. We will get the call. It is a false start on the Bulldogs, and so the ball will be moved back to about the 34-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 14. So the Bulldogs, even though they have, a pretty nice look at the scoreboard, if you're a Bulldog supporter, I'm sure their coach is sitting there going, we've got some things we can talk about with our team at halftime.
Yeah, and I think that's what's scary if you're a Beaver fan is San Mateo's made some mistakes, and they are still doing what they're doing here.
2 out to the right for Kett. Second down, 14. Turn around and he's going to hand that one off. Collier coming through, picking his way through, winding his way through down to about the 25, maybe the 26. I think they'll mark it just outside the 25. And another impressive run by Ali Collier to set up third down and about 7.
I think one of the most impressive things we've seen with Collier is, he's elusive, but he also will put that shoulder down.
Yeah,
he runs
does
guys
both.
over. He's really got a whole package back there.
He is really good. I call him the navigator because he picks his way through right there at the line of scrimmage. And then, as you say, when he gets against some of the smaller defenders, he puts that shoulder down, and he is pretty successful. Collier is listed at 5'11" and 185 pounds. Local product out of Monterey Trail. 3rd and 7, ball in the 25. We're going to get a whistle. And a timeout called, I think, by the Bulldogs on this one. They lead at 28-0, and they've dominated really every phase of the game. The Beavers have had a chance, but it seems like every time they've turned the Bulldogs over, the Bulldogs have come back with an even bigger play.
Yeah, and I think that's what really has been the backbreaker in this. You can see the energy on the sidelines is not what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, that's a great
from
point you
these
make.
AR guys, and I think a lot of it is every momentum swing. It's like a roller coaster right now. Every time they get some momentum their way, it feels like the pendulum swings more into San Mateo's way, and a lot of it is credit to them for the plays some of them are making, but some of it too is just some self-inflicted errors by the Beavers, like the field goal where you hold them, keep it a 3-score game, then instead it turns out to be a penalty and giving that up, or you finally get a couple turnovers, and both turnovers you've gotten have been responded to with a pick 6 and another interception there. So just really need to find a way to, when you get that momentum, to keep the momentum on your side, and credit to San Mateo for coming out and taking it too when they lose it.
Well, you talk about Johnny Kett. obviously known as a passer. I think he's completed 1 or 2 passes. He has a rushing touchdown, but he has 2 interceptions. And if you tell me those bare numbers, I think the Beavers would be doing pretty well. 6:02 to go, first half. Beavers showing some pressure here on 3rd and 7. Kent's got time. He's going to roll to the right. Gets it out quickly. It's caught, but right away the tackle is made by the Beavers at about the 22-yard line, which would get them about 3 yards short of the first down.
Looked like that was Kai Hamilton that reeled that one in. And on the defense right there was Sajid Polite, a name that we were used to calling last year right there. And I think he might have had a play for the interception there, but instead was going for the pass breakup and the tackle.
Thought the Bulldogs might try to bring out Kelly and go for the field goal from here, but they're going to go on 4th down and 2 on the 21. They need to get inside the 20-yard line. Ket up here in the under center, hands it off, and he fumbles it and is picked up, and hopefully the Bulldogs didn't recover for enough yardage for the first down. I don't think they did. Let's see, the Beavers are saying we've got it, and the ball, it looked like it would be short of a first down anyway, and it will be Beavers' ball. So that time, Kent moves up in under center, which they hadn't really done today, and their kind of execution wasn't that good on that one.
Yeah, and I know they've kind of had that thing with the offensive line where they all go down at the same time, then snap the ball, and it looked like Kent maybe came up from under center to navigate some things a little bit, and that's when that ball got snapped right then, and maybe a little bit of a miscommunication. But again, Beavers find a way to force a turnover, and you got to capitalize on it.
And as we've been saying, that's the 3rd turnover. If you called that a fumble and not getting it on downs, it's the 3rd turnover in the first half, and yet the Beavers still with the goose eggs on the scoreboard. So the Bulldogs have responded well when they've made mistakes. And here's the Beavers with Jet Harris, I believe still behind center. He is in the shotgun. He's got Eastman behind him. The Beavers have not really got anything going offensively through the air or on the ground. And Harris will try to change that with 5:17 to go here in the second quarter. And won't be able to do that there as we're going to get, I think, a false start on the Beavers.
You know, one thing we haven't seen yet from AR that's kind of been their bread and butter these last couple of years is the tight ends haven't really gotten involved in this game. I mean, this is a very loaded tight end room that they have. We have Suggs, we have Feuerbach, we have Dylan Fear in here, and names we haven't really called yet today.
Yeah, it's a great call, Jordan, because I talked with Coach O yesterday, and that's one of the things he talked about is how much he loves this tight end room. And we've talked about it in years past, as you just said. They've had some guys who've gone on to Division I and everything and just really accomplished tight ends. So far, we have not seen that in evidence here. Maybe we will before the end of the second quarter. Hand off to Eastman. He's got a little bit of room, but the Bulldogs, to their credit, even when there's a little room on the scrimmage line, they really plugged that hole quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like San Mateo D lineman there tried convincing the refs that he got that one.
Showed him the ball. Hey, I got it.
Sometimes you kind of wonder, too, when you see the pile, you're like, how'd that guy end up with the ball out of everyone in there?
You know, if you're the referee, you go, I don't think he really recovered it, but he does have the ball.
They do a good job selling it. Sometimes you see, refs maybe make the decision.
Second down, 13 to go. Ball on the 17-yard line. Got to get to the 30 for a first down with 4. So Harris, Trey Summer is back with him, number 33. Harris has got an opening, got it wide open. And that's completed at the 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Beavers. There are no flags.
And right there, that was the tight end, Josh Feuerbach, right there, coming out of Oak Ridge High School, 6'5", 215. Looks like we do have a Beaver hurt on the play.
83-yard touchdown pass from Jet Harris to Feuerbach. As Jordan said, we need the tight ends, and they responded. We do have an injured player for the Beavers, and the Beavers will bring out Landon Richardson to try to put the extra point on. And Jordan, we have seen the Beavers kind of futile for the first quarter and a half, and they just pulled one out of the bag right there.
Yeah, and it felt like exactly what they needed. Give some confidence to your offense, some confidence to your quarterback, and like we said, we needed to find a way to get the tight ends involved, and perfect time for them to do it right there. I mean, he just slipped under that on that wheel route completely unnoticed, and nothing but green grass in front of him. And he could move pretty well because he had some DBs chasing him.
He
They weren't
did.
really gaining ground.
I know. I think he thought, I better score because I'm wide open and there's nobody here and nobody better catch me. And that's exactly what happened. But now the Beavers wait to see as they have a fallen teammate down there at about the 10-yard line.
It looks like number 64,
Yeah,
Connor Henderson.
Make sure we get the right number on that. Connor Henderson, the lineman out of Union Mine up in El Dorado. And, that was just totally unexpected because it looks like Harris threw the ball over to the left. There was kind of a swarm of receivers and DBs over there, and all of a sudden Pierback is just standing behind him going, okay, I'll just take the ball, thank you.
And I think if you're a Beaver fan, too, the way this game has gone, you were just kind of waiting like, okay, make sure he catches it. Okay, make sure he stays in bounds. Okay, make sure there's no flag.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't celebrate until he
Exactly.
crosses the
Yeah.
goal line. Okay, don't
Exactly.
celebrate too much and then get a penalty. And I think if you're AR, this is a breath of fresh air and now some life kind of on this sideline. And if your defense can get a stop here, you're in a position where you can get another possession before this half is over and, maybe go into the halftime feeling like, hey, 28-14 doesn't look so bad.
I'm thinking you're sitting here going, I like the 7 points, assuming the extra point. I want my defense in the last 4-14 to shut down and make sure the Bulldogs don't score again. That's as far as I'm going. And the Bulldogs, as we talked about a minute ago, is Henderson is being helped off the field, number 64, 6'2", 295. He's a freshman, as we said, out of Union Mine High School. Bulldogs, it's kind of scary because we see how good they are, and they've made enough mistakes that their coaches, I'm not surprised, one of those coaches is going to go on a little bit of a rant at halftime, and they may come out with fire in the eyes.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a weird situation where I think both teams are going to be getting chewed out going into the half.
Exactly.
Right here, and, it's going to be really how each team responds to this one. But, yeah, if you're San Mateo, I think you're pretty happy with the fact that you're looking at a 21-point lead right now late in the second quarter with some of the mistakes you've made. And if you're AR too, you're also looking at it like, hey, you know what? We have made some of these mistakes, but if we capitalized on them, this game looks a little bit different right now. So I think there's a little bit of moral victories in both sides, but also a lot to be improved upon.
Yeah, Bulldogs probably looking at that as like a fluke play right there, saying, oh, yeah, we just lost a guy, and it's kind of a fluke play. Well, here's Landon Richardson going for the extra point. He is 7 of 7 on extra points, 3 for 5 on field goals this season for ARC. With a history of putting out some pretty good place kickers. Drives through that one, and that looks good, and it is good. Confirmed by the officials. So the Beavers on the board. The long pass to Fuhrback for 83 yards and a touchdown, and Richardson adds the extra point with 4:14 to go here in the second quarter. Beavers trail at 28-7. I'll tell you what, let's take a short break here at Beaver Stadium, hear from the sponsors. We'll be back in just a minute. You're watching ARC Football, presented by the Stones Broadcast Networks.
I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
Welcome back, Beaver Stadium. 4:14 to go. Beavers with the offensive explosion. The 83-yard pass from Jet Harris to Fuhrback for the touchdown. Richardson added the extra points. Landon will do the kicking off to the Bulldogs, who are receiving their first kickoff here of the day.
Yeah, first time we're seeing this.
At the goal line, the Bulldogs with it coming up the right side. Nice job by the Beavers special teams at the 20-yard line. Drop down for San Mateo. They've Watson and Long usually their return players, and the Beavers with some good special teams out down to the 20-yard line.
I believe that was Gavin Rappa on the tackle right there. Defensive back out of 12 Bridges High School, big part of the Raging Rhinos run to a state championship game last year. True freshman. Good to see him getting in the mix here. And it feels like the Beavers might have a little bit of life to them that we didn't necessarily see in that last one. Special teams kind of flying around. That one big play might have really sparked this team.
Well, let's see how it works out. As Ket comes out here with his ball club. Ahead 28-7 with 4:08 to go in the first half. Looks like Allie Collier is still behind Ken, he'll hand the ball to Collier, who's been kind of the star of the first half, and he does it again. The Navigator wins his way through and gets himself a gain of just about 10 yards. It'll be close to the 30-yard line. Let's see if they give him 10. It'll be just inside. I think he'll give him 9 yards, second and 1.
One thing I've noticed here is we've seen the Beavers kind of mix in the D linemen, but it feels like they're really mixing in new D linemen almost every play, and I'm wondering if it's to give different looks to this offensive front, maybe keep them guessing.
And as you said, they've been on the field a long time too, so maybe just to get him a break. Second down, ball. It fakes it to Collier. He's got a man open on the side. That's long. He'll get it in, collect it at the 40, and get up to about the 40. No, they'll call it at the 40-yard line, first down for the Bulldogs.
A nice little play drawn up right there, and that's the key right there is when you have the running game working the way it has, those bootlegs and those play action type of plays are really going to work a lot more because you're forcing the Beavers to have to really commit to the run.
We saw Long with an end around for a touchdown early in the game. He did not have catches before coming in here, so he has been spotlighted by the Bulldogs. We talked about their depth all game long. First down at the 43 minutes to go in the half. Here comes the Beavers, a little bit of pressure as the handoff is given to Collier. He stood up, but as Jordan said, he's tough to bring down. He'll get about a 2-yard gain and bring up a second down.
And that's one of the best pushes we've seen from this Beaver defensive front so far today. It looked like leading it was Cade Millard, the D lineman, freshman out of Foothill High School over in Pleasanton. And it looked like Malloy was in there kind of in that mix too on that. So if you're the Beavers, I think the biggest thing right here, you want to get the ball back, but finding a way to keep them at 28 going into the half is really going to be what kind of determines, I think, how this third quarter goes.
Second down. 8 yards to go, ball at the 42. Collier behind John Kett, the freshman out of Vista Del Lago. Takes it, and he is under pressure and knocked down and put down by the Beavers. Looked like they were getting a slow developing counter play, but there was no one to pitch it to, and the Beavers right in there for the play. It'll be a third down.
And Shamonte Brown right there with a huge sack. It looked like he was not fooled on that. If we can take another look right there, if it's not too late, you can see him right here at the top of the defensive line on the screen there, just flying in, doesn't bite on that at all, and by the time Kett realizes what's coming at him, it's already too late.
Yeah, it looked like Riley Long was the guy who was going to get the ball, but then he tried to block Brown, who was coming by. So I don't know if he was supposed to get the ball, but then he saw Brown and said, I got to stop him, or whatever it was. Monday, as you said, a great play and a big play for the Beavers. We're going to get a timeout for the Bulldogs. Actually, we have the 2-minute timeout in college football now, so that's what we have going on right here. We're going to take a short break here at the 2-minute timeout. Our score with 2 minutes to go in the first half is 28-7 in favor of the Bulldogs.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise, from minor carpentry to drywall, electrical and flooring for property managers, landlords, and renters alike. We ensure that every job is completed to the highest standards, so you can have peace of mind. Contact us today to discover how Jeffers Resource Group can help keep your home in top shape.
Welcome back, Beaver Stadium. Mark the Phantom Low. Jordan Georgeson. We've got Riley the engineer. Chris Toy is working the scoreboard today. Stones McCoy. I saw him earlier. Then he went down to the field and came back with a sling on, and I haven't seen him since then. I don't know what that even means. I don't even want to think about it. Third and 15.
We determined it was wasps, correct?
Yes, I think we did think it was wasps. Third and 15 on the 35. Catch to pass. He's got a man in the flat. Closed down by the Beavers. The catch was made. The tackle was made. That was inches away, as we talked about earlier, Jordan, from being a pick six the other way.
Yeah, and a great read right there by Greganius on that. And I think because he was a little further off the receiver protecting that first down marker was the only reason that wasn't a pick six.
Yeah.
And I think if you're Coach O and company, I think you'll kind of take that with how this game has gone. And really I think this is the first punt they've forced so far in this game.
Yeah, and let's see if they can do this is the kind of thing where you've done the work. Now, we've already run into the kicker once. We don't want to do something like that again. Ethan Ling is the punter for the Bulldogs, averaging almost 41 yards a punt. So got a good leg on him. He'll let that one go, and that one is a little short. The Beavers are going to move away from it as it takes a Bulldog roll down to about the 20-yard line. So it worked out pretty good for the Bulldogs. The Beavers first down with 1:05 to go here, as it's one of those situations, Jordan, where I think, you do a play or two and see if something breaks, then you go ahead and go for it. If not, you just try to take the timeout.
Yeah, I think if you're the Beavers, you maybe draw up your most successful run plays right here, or maybe even take a look at a quick pass that is very low risk, like a type of bubble screen where a defender's not going to jump it. But I think if there was maybe one timeout left, you go for this. But
yeah,
I think with how this game has gone, you don't get too aggressive.
Yeah, Beavers don't have any timeouts. The Bulldogs have one, so they may call one depending on what the Beavers do, but it really wouldn't matter. Harris, quarterback's going to hand that one off to Eastman, cuts back, and again, he's had a couple of times, Jordan, where it looks like he's had a little bit of daylight, but the Bulldogs close really fast.
Yeah, and it looks like that closure right there was brought on by what looked like number 0 on there, Jeremiah Lewis, a freshman linebacker from Wilcox High School in San Jose.
And a second down and 8 yards to go, ball in the 22, and we're going to tick it down, I think, as we are under 40 seconds to go here in the first half. As we said, Beavers no timeouts. The Bulldogs have one. And it looks like the Beavers are going to go into a kneel-down formation, and we will go into halftime in 22 seconds. And that's exactly what's going to happen here as Harris takes the knee. And both teams come over to the sidelines as the clock ticks down at 10 seconds to go in the first half. So a lot of action, Jordan, a lot of pluses and minuses on each side. Obviously more for the Bulldogs than the Beavers, but the Beavers come back strong in the second part of the second quarter. They put 7 points on the board. They get a nice stop. So we go to halftime. Our score, the Bulldogs 28, the Beavers 7. Jordan Georgeson will be doing a halftime show with special guest Chris Jackson. That comes up in just a little while. You're watching ARC Football, presented by the Stones Broadcast Networks.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise, so you can have peace of mind. Contact us to schedule your service today.
Hi, I'm Monica from Ace Body Shop in Telling. We are a family-oriented business. We've been in business for over 30 years. We are located downtown Lincoln at 333 Lincoln Boulevard in Lincoln, California. We do automotive repair and 24-hour towing. Our phone number is 916-645-2859, or you can find us on the web.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Got dragged there, and I didn't. He's an actor? Oh, crap. Who cares?
You got the rest of your life to be, serious. But
just tweet it out and then don't really
then
respond.
run away.
Yeah.
I think it happens to some of us. Maybe it sounds a little personal to you, but
I didn't want me to
I
sound
don't know.
that
It just
way.
maybe sounds like that. 'Cause
Generally,
fine.
Again, you're a very bright guy.
Yeah.
You see right into
Right
my
through
soul,
you.
my friend. That's why I have so many jobs, because people think I'm funny when they're driving home.
I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed a job. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise, from minor carpentry to drywall, electrical and flooring for property managers, landlords, and renters alike. We ensure that every job is completed to the highest standards, so you can have peace of mind. Contact us today to discover how Jeffers Resource Group can help keep your home in top shape.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Placer County's best-kept secret is back for another exciting summer at historic McBean Stadiums. Loaded with fun for the whole family, local beer, wine, and eats. Fireworks, giveaways, theme nights, kids zone, and more. Come join in the fun and enjoy small-town baseball with Major League Entertainment. Tickets on sale now at LincolnPotters.com.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Come on out and join in the fun.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Miller.
And we'd like to invite you to come see all that Miller's Ace Hardware has to offer and to give our happy and helpful staff a chance to earn your business.
Whatever project you're working on, from lawn and garden to home repairs, you'll find everything you need at the new Miller's Ace Hardware. Power tools from the best name brands, and one of the largest selections of barbecues and barbecue accessories featuring brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg. And if you're looking to freshen things up, visit the paint studio featuring Clark and Kensington, Benjamin Moore, and Magnolia Home by Joanna Gaines. Miller's Ace Hardware, where customer and community service meet. Located on the corner of Madison and Fair Oaks, behind the Ferrari Building.
Pass flung on and missed. He got him on strikes at 86, the off-speeder. Bruno strikes out the side. Potters get the win 8-5. He's going to look that way. Now he's going to duck down the middle. He's got a guy wide open at the 18 kid. That's Robert Freeman. And Robert's trying to make a couple of moves. He comes back to the 15, comes down to the 10. He gets a block to the 5.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We love to see you.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise so you can have peace of mind. Contact us to schedule your service today.
Hi, I'm Monica from Ace Body Shop in Telling. We are a family-oriented business. We've been in business for over 30 years. We are located downtown Lincoln at 333 Lincoln Boulevard in Lincoln, California. We do automotive repair and 24-hour towing. Our phone number is 916-645-2859, or you can find us on the web.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Got dragged there, and I didn't. He's an actor. Oh crap! Who cares?
You got the rest of your life to be, serious. But
just tweet it out and then don't
And
really
then run away.
No, I think it happens to some of us. Maybe it sounds a little personal to you, but
I didn't want me.
Yeah,
to
I don't
sound
know.
that
It just
way.
maybe sounds like that. 'Cause
Generally,
fine.
Again, you're a very bright guy. You
Yeah.
see right into
Right
my
through
soul,
you.
my friend. That's why I have so many jobs, because people think I'm funny when they're driving home.
I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise, from minor carpentry to drywall, electrical and flooring for property managers, landlords, and renters alike. We ensure that every job is completed to the highest standards, so you can have peace of mind. Contact us today to discover how Jeffers Resource Group can help keep your home in top shape.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Placer County's best-kept secret is back for another exciting summer at historic McBean Stadiums. Loaded with fun for the whole family, local beer, wine, and eats. Fireworks, giveaways, theme nights, kids zone, and more. Come join in the fun and enjoy small-town baseball with Major League Entertainment. Tickets on sale now at LincolnPotters.com.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Come on out and join in the fun.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Miller.
And we'd like to invite you to come see all that Miller's Ace Hardware has to offer and to give our happy and helpful staff a chance to earn your business.
Whatever project you're working on, from lawn and garden to home repairs, you'll find everything you need at the new Miller's Ace Hardware. Power tools from the best name brands, and one of the largest selections of barbecues and barbecue accessories featuring brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg. And if you're looking to freshen things up, visit the paint studio featuring Clark and Kensington, Benjamin Moore, and Magnolia Home by Joanna Gaines. Miller's Ace Hardware, where customer and community service meet. Located on the corner of Madison and Fair Oaks, behind the Ferrari building.
Pass flung on and missed. He got him on strikes at 86, the off-speeder. Bruno strikes out the side. Potters get the win 8-5. He's going to look that way. Now he's going to duck down the middle. He's got a guy wide open at the 18 kid. That's Robert Freeman. And Robert's trying to make a couple of moves. He comes back to the 15, comes down to the 10. He gets a block to the 5.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We'd love to see you.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise, so you can have peace of mind. Contact us to schedule your service today.
Hi, I'm Monica from Ace Body Shop in Telling. We are a family-oriented business. We've been in business for over 30 years. We are located downtown Lincoln at 333 Lincoln Boulevard in Lincoln, California. We do automotive repair and 24-hour towing. Our phone number is 916-645-2859, or you can find us on the web.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Got dragged there, and I didn't. He's an actor. Oh crap! Who cares?
You got the rest of your life to be, serious. But
just tweet it out and then don't
And
really
then run away.
No, I think it happens to some of us. Maybe it sounds a little personal to you, but
I don't want me.
yeah,
to
I don't
sound
know.
that
It just
way.
maybe sounds like that. 'Cause
Generally,
fine.
Again, you're a very bright guy. You
Yeah.
see right into
Right
my
through
soul,
you.
my friend. That's why I have so many jobs, because people think I'm funny when they're driving home.
All right, welcome back to the American River Football Halftime Show. Joining me is Chris Jackson from West Coast Preps. Chris, thanks for coming on.
No, thanks for having me. It's a beautiful Saturday of football. It feels like fall. It really has this past, week or so.
It really has, and it feels like football's kind of in full swing. And Chris, I know you've been covering prep sports really across the state, across the West Coast now, with the name, but you started in the Bay Area, so you're very familiar with San Mateo and their program. You do it a lot out here, so you're very familiar with the players out here. You were on field level for this game, so just what have you seen in that first half from both sides, and kind of the energy, and what can AR do to get back in this game?
I think you said it week one on the broadcast when I was watching that back. JUCO football's never been better, and it really felt like I was down there with Division I football. The size, the speed, everything else, but CSM's at that different level. Nationally ranked, they have been for years. Look at their way they've recruited. They want to dominate SAC. They want to dominate the Valley is what they've said, and you've got that. Trayvon Watson from Antelope, #1 player at his position in JUCO. Just got a Boise offer, pick 6 there down the sideline. R.J. Witten from Folsom, a state champion there, a national champion in JUCO. #1 nickel, I believe, in America, was originally a BYU commit out of high school. They are loaded everywhere. Their D-line was, quote-unquote, supposed to be their weakness or their biggest question mark, and if that's their biggest question mark, that's a scary thing for the rest of junior college football, because they are big, they are fast, they are physical, they are explosive, and just technically sound. Well coached. They've got Jason Hardy out there, their D-line coach, a former All-American. Actually, as a high school coach back in the day, he coached Rockland's defensive coordinator, so kind of funny how that works together, but that goes to show you their coaching staff, their recruiting, and the talent that they're bringing in. D1 bounce backs, Miles Tucker is a Wyoming bounce back. They're on defense as well, so this is about as loaded of a junior college football team as I think I've seen before.
And I know you talked to San Mateo's coaches before this, because you were originally supposed to be joining me on the broadcast with this game, and they told you something about recruiting Sacramento, and it kind of stood out to me because of the talent that they normally see in the Bay Area. But what was it that they told you, and who are some of the Sacramento standouts that you've seen for them today?
Yeah, like I said, their mission is dominating this area. They get a lot of great Bay Area players. Their quarterback last year was a Bay Area guy, Dominic Ingracia from San Marin of Novato in the North Bay, now at Cal. But look at their quarterback now, John Kett from Vista Del Lago, way to the CERN. You had him and Whit Cruz in the same quarterback room. Now we're seeing Whit Cruz playing here at ARC. But their mission is not just dominate the Bay Area, but they want to dominate the Valley. I was speaking with their D-line coach, Jason Hardy, and he was talking about that's their thing. They know the Bay Area's got lots of dudes, but the Valley keeps getting better. You've seen it covered in high school sports out here. I've seen it. That's what they've done. Their secondary, 3 different guys. #1 safety in junior college football. #1 nickel in junior college football. #1 cornerback who had that pick 6, Trayvon Watson. You've got those guys. You've got, Phoenix Rose coming over there from Whitney High School of Rockland, who was originally, I believe, a Sac State commit out of high school, now playing here. They're dominating everywhere in the Valley. They're getting those guys. When you've got an R.J. Witten, who's got the pedigree, who was a 3-star out of high school. His cousin's actually Rico Flores, too, who's obviously a great college receiver as well. But they know how good this area is. I think all you viewers know how good it is watching high school ball and JUCO ball out here. If you can dominate recruiting in every area, not just where your home is of the Bay Area, but when you can go to Sacramento, you can go to Modesto, the Valley, Stockton, up towards Placer County, all these places, you're going to win, and you're going to win big. And that's why CSM has a lot of different rings to its name.
And last thing is the Beavers get ready to take the field here for the second half. If you're AR, what's that message at halftime like, and how do they get back into this game and find a way to avoid this 0-4 hole?
It's just got to get back to the fundamentals, you think. Right? You're seeing what they have out there. They've made some plays defensively. They've gotten some big stops, forced turnovers. Now can you capitalize on that, right? Can you now hit a big play on offense? They got a breakdown earlier on that touchdown pass. Can they get a few more? Can they mix things up? Can they execute? That's the biggest thing. You're going to have to get a push against the CSM D-line, because if you can't get the run game going, you can't open up the rest of that game, especially when CSM's already got a secondary that I think everybody would agree is the best in all of junior college football.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Chris Jackson, for joining us. Chris, where can they find you at if they want to follow and learn more?
Social media, West Coast Preps _ or our Sacramento account, WCP Sacramento, westcoastpreps.com for all the content. Use the free trial code WCP 7 days. The number 7 is numerical. Use that. Check it all out. We got a lot of great coverage there, and it's been a fun few weeks of football. It seems like this has been the craziest season yet at every single level.
It really has been. All right. Thank you so much, Chris Jackson, for joining us. We have more Beaver football coming up right after this as teams are coming out for the second half.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Miller.
And we'd like to invite you to come see all that Miller's Ace Hardware has to offer and to give our happy and helpful staff a chance to earn your business.
Whatever project you're working on, from lawn and garden to home repairs, you'll find everything you need at the new Miller's Ace Hardware. Power tools from the best name brands, and one of the largest selections of barbecues and barbecue accessories featuring brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg. And if you're looking to freshen things up, visit the paint studio featuring Clark and Kensington, Benjamin Moore, and Magnolia Home by Joanna Gaines. Miller's Ace Hardware, where customer and community service meet. Located on the corner of Madison and Fair Oaks, behind the Ferrari building.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Placer County's best-kept secret is back for another exciting summer at historic McBean Stadiums. Loaded with fun for the whole family. Local beer, wine, and eats. Fireworks, giveaways, theme nights, kids zone, and more. Come join in the fun and enjoy small-town baseball with Major League Entertainment. Tickets on sale now at LincolnPotters.com.
Lincoln Potters Baseball. Come on out and join in the fun.
Welcome back to Beaver Stadium. Second half action on tap between College of San Mateo and your American River College Beavers. Thanks to Chris Jackson for coming up and doing a little bit of halftime. And Jordan, when you bring a guest in, I would like you to bring a guest who's not quite as accomplished, because I want to look better by comparison. This is not the way I had it played. You bring a guy like Chris up here, I'm not going to look good. You know what I'm saying?
The problem is he lied on his resume. I had the bar extremely low for the requirement, and he just comes on. He's saying, I was a fry cook operator at McDonald's, assistant, by the way.
Which is good.
And then he comes in, he's got all these accolades and, owns a business and whatnot. And I'm just like, okay, hold on. This is not what I signed up for.
Well, thanks to Chris for coming on and doing some halftime. He'll be working with you, I believe, next week as you guys bring the Modesto Junior College Pirates and American River College Beavers game. But right now, it is the Beavers kicking off. Landon Richardson will let it fly as the Bulldogs have the offensive possession here to start the second half, and that kick is deep into the end zone, and it will not be brought out by the Bulldogs. So, Jordan, you talked to me in the break before your vaunted halftime show that you really think it's like first possession of the third quarter for both squads, really a big deal.
Yeah, I think if you're the Beavers, the most important thing is keeping that 28 up there on the board and then finding a way to get points on the board in response to it. I think right now this is kind of one of those where if you're going to stay in this game, it starts right now and right here. And your defense went to the half with some momentum. Shamonte Brown, had that huge sack that really ignited it. So find a way if you can channel that again and see if you can get this going.
So John Ked is the quarterback for the College of San Mateo Bulldogs. I believe that is Collier behind him. Allie Collier was kind of the offensive star of the first half, at least in our estimation, for the Bulldogs. On the ground, he takes it right here and he cuts it back, and the Beavers right there to knock him down right at the line of scrimmage to set up a 2nd and 10.
I believe that was actually the other running back in this roster. Looks like it was Gonzalez on that.
Number 22?
Yes, I
We
believe
saw
so.
him in the first half. Yeah, he had a touchdown run in the first half, so he and Collier split duties, with Collier being the main back, but Gonzalez, the smaller of the two. He is dropped for no gain, brings up a 2nd and 10. The ball at the 25-yard line of the Bulldogs. And another handoff. This is Gonzalez again. Cuts it back. He's got a little bit of room at about the 30. Beavers swarm him, though, and knock him down. Will be a gain of about 6 or 7 yards for Gonzalez. Brings up a more manageable 3rd down and 3 for the Bulldogs.
And, one thing we have seen is they've been kind of having these cuts a little bit, but right there, the Beavers were able to contain that to a 6 or 7 yard gain rather than a 20-something yard gain, and that's something we didn't really see in the first half a lot.
Yeah, it seems like Collier, when he made his cutbacks, he was able to get down the field a little bit more. Gonzalez had to go a little more side to side, and the Beavers recovered, to your point. 3rd down, a big play early here in this 3rd quarter, 3rd and 4, ball on the 31 for San Mateo. It's a high snap. Kid gets it, hands it off to Gonzalez, cuts it back. He's knocked back, and the Beavers are waiting for him, and they will knock him down. I don't know if they'll give him initial progress or when he was bounced backward like a pinball, and the Beavers were right there, and that's a big stop, to your point, Jordan, for the ARC defense.
And one thing we got right there, Cade Millard on that, the looked like was the one that had the initial hit, and what I found out at halftime, the son of 1989 NFL Defense Player of the Year, Keith Millard.
Keith Millard,
right
there you go.
So,
yeah.
Good hit for him. He kind of led the charge, bounced him back, and then the rest of the D linemen come in there and make that play.
A punt, Ethan Ling is the punter, 41 yards, a kick. He had 1 punt in the first half. See if he gets that one off. That one is driven a little bit better. The Beavers are going to fair catch it at the 32, and they do so. So, Jordan, half of your prophecy is taken care of. The Beavers come up big defensively, and now they've got the chance offensively. And let's see who's under center for ARC.
It looks like they're going to bring Harris out, but one thing I've noticed to a tight end whose name we haven't called yet that is a big piece of this offense when he's out there, Jaden Suggs, the former Placer running back turned tight end. So it looks like a 2 tight end set, and we'll see if that's maybe something the Beavers are trying to exploit. They found a matchup they liked.
Yeah, we saw Fuhrback with the big play. Also, Dylan Fear gets a lot of time as a tight end for the Beavers. 1st down at the 32-yard line, 12:50 to go. Here in the 3rd quarter, Beavers trailing at 28-7. Looks like Eastman is the running back again. As Zaire gets it, comes up the middle. He gets a little bit of room, but again, he got 3 yards before he met contact, but when he met contact, it was big contact.
Yeah, it was big contact, and it looked like that was Bo Save leading the charge of that contact right there, really lowering the hit. And I know we talked about it earlier, but a high school wide receiver converted to an edge rusher, that is not a position you really see, and he's shining in that spot. I mean, really eating a lot of reps for it, and impressive player, physical player too. A great line of players coming from Del Oro. His younger brother Nolan is the quarterback of that team right now. Another brother is the middle linebacker for it. So the size is there, and impressive to see because, like you said, not a transition you normally see.
Bulldogs player down on the field now being attended to, and maybe it's my imagination, but Eastman maybe getting a little more room when he gets the handoff than he had earlier in the game.
It looks like it, and I don't know how much of it. It looks like the line's getting a little bit of a better push, and that secondary unit of the linebackers and some of the edge guys are still able to get a hit and limit the big gains, but kind of feels like some progress for the Beavers, and even just being able to get that opens up the passing game a little bit more because you're not just seeing pressure in your face right away.
Yep. So a little momentary timeout with 12:37 to go. Beavers were down 28-0, got that big play to Fuhrbach, the 83-yard pass from Harris to Fuhrbach to cut it to 28-7. Then, as we talked about, Jordan, got the big stop at the end of that second quarter. Didn't put any more points on the board, but kept points off the board for the Bulldogs and came out here, as to your point, and that first, I don't know if you say it's a statement defensively, but they really came out, pursued, and dropped the Bulldogs without the first down. So the first half of your prognosis is they've completed that. Now they need to do the offensive part.
And that's a big thing. You talked about those stops, and I don't think I know a single coach alive that would rather see a team force a punt than get an interception. But in a weird way, I feel like that was kind of the case here because every stop the Beavers have gotten to this point was from a turnover. And now you finally force 2 punts in a row, and it kind of feels like, in a way, showing your defense that you can stop them on, 3-4 downs rather than forcing a turnover. And it maybe is kind of a vote of confidence for this defense to know, okay, you know what? we can stop these guys. We don't need to let them just march all over the field on us.
Okay, so here is Jet Harris under center. They got about a 3-yard gain will give Eastman on that first down carry. So 2nd and 7, ball on the 35. Single wide receiver out to the left. One out, also spread out to the right for ARC is Harris in the shotgun. Hands it off to Eastman, and there's nothing there. We talked about a little more daylight when he gets it. No daylight there. He probably got back to the original line of scrimmage. I think he's going to get a gain or a loss of 1, so it'll come up 3rd down, and this time 9 to go. The ball on the 35.
It looked like that was Savay leading the charge again for them, or at least he was the one that was wrapping them up when they peeled everyone off of that. So we'll give him credit up here for the tackle.
Dylan Fear mentioned him a minute ago. Number 85 comes in. Feuerbach comes out. He's hobbling a little bit. He has the touchdown to his credit here today, the only one for the Beavers as we go to 3rd and 9, ball on the 34-yard line. Harris with Eastman to his right. Jaden Anderson goes in motion, and we're going to get a whistle. If Jaden turned it up a little bit too quickly there, we're going to get a timeout.
Looks like a delay of game. I think the motion might have taken a little too long.
And that's the kind of thing, obviously you don't ever want that, but especially when you've got a 3rd and 9, which is manageable-ish, and move that to a 3rd and 14. And except for the one big touchdown play, the Beavers have not put a lot of big plays together offensively. So that obviously is going to allow the Bulldogs to sit back a little bit on this one and kind of cut down the available avenues for Jet Harris to throw into. As we assume the pass, 2 out to the left for ARC. He's looking left. He's got it cut across the middle, and the play is incomplete. Calling for interference. Might have been a little early there, but even a completion right there, Jordan, was only going to be about a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, I don't think there was going to be a ton that they could do right there. That was Kyle Hall, the Rockland product, actually, that was in coverage on that one. Then nearly an interception there by number 43, Bruce Aparesa. I believe I might have pronounced that one a little bit wrong.
We'll give it to him, sure, yeah. He made the play on the ball, and he probably was closer to making the catch than the Beavers were. So Landon Richardson back to punt it. Gets it away. Shortish kick. I think it was fair caught because it was a very, I'm not surprised that tackle was made. It looked like it was a kind of a half fair catch signal. And it looked like the receiver thought he had made a fair catch signal, and the defense said, no, you didn't.
And the thing is, if one guy's the one hitting him, then I think it's, hey, you made a fair catch signal, you missed it. If 4 or 5 guys are hitting you, I think you may have not made the signal you thought, and the refs certainly didn't think so.
They were lined up like the 7 dwarfs, just one after another, just knocking them down right there.
Kind of. What was the scene in Airplane where there's a line to every player gets their shot?
I remember. Indeed. That's before your time. You don't need to know about that stuff. So here's John Kett and the Bulldogs for their second possession here in the 3rd quarter. The first time it didn't go anywhere for San Mateo. They lead at 28-7. As a fake, Kett with the ball. A quick shot out to the right side, caught by Riley Long and immediately tackled, but he did get a gain of about 4 yards. Let's see if they mark it about the 43-yard line.
That was Brandon Sanders there. Nice coverage right there, not giving him a lot of room to run. I think that's a big difference we've seen in this passing game is that we really haven't seen a lot of room to run for these Bulldogs receivers, which is kind of contrary to what we've seen in the running game with a lot of room to run for these these backs.
So 2nd down, ball on the 43-yard line, just inside the 43. Call it 6 yards to go. Hand off. It's to Collier, who's back in. He's going to cut back as he has a couple times. And Jordan, usually runners on their cutbacks aren't that hard to knock down, but he sure is.
He really is. And, I mean, look at that play right there. There were 3 defenders in the backfield, and he still found a way to turn that into a gain of 3 or 4. I mean, really impressive stuff from what we've seen from him today.
Going to bring up a 3rd down. They'll call it 3 yards to go at the 46-yard line. Need to get to the 49. We're under 10 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Bulldogs ahead 28-7. Okay. maybe audibling out of the play. He's got one wide receiver out to the left side. He's got Collier behind him. He's going to hand it off to Ollie, but we're going to have a flag. I think we're going to have a false start on the Bulldogs. So for a team that's ranked as highly as them and as obviously as accomplished as them, Jordan, we've seen pretty sloppy play on occasion from San Mateo today.
Yeah, we really have, and it can go one of two ways. In a way, if you're a San Mateo fan, you feel like you should be winning this game by more. If you're a Beaver fan, you feel fortunate, and even that play right there, that looked like Ket didn't have the offense quite set up. I think the center saw the clock was approaching 0 and snapped it before Ket was ready, and they might be fortunate that that was a 5-yard penalty instead of a play that was allowed to stand.
Could have been almost over his head there. So it'd be 3rd and 8, ball now on the 41-yard line of the Bulldogs. Got receivers split out both left and right, and Collier behind Ket in the shotgun formation. He'll look left, look back to the middle. He's got time, and now it's closed down. A tremendous play by the Beavers. Kind of a secondary rush there, and the loss is 5. And that is ARC, the defense, stepping up once again, Jordan.
Mason Kelly right there. If we can take another look at that, coming in from his linebacker position, I think he was actually in coverage on this play right here. And then he sees Ket just kind of flying up. He comes up and makes a big play, and another big stop for the Beavers. That's 3 punts in a row, and now it's time for the offense to answer the bell.
One thing you've got to give credit to, and I think you mentioned this when we were talking at halftime off air, is that the defensive backs of the Beavers are doing a pretty good job not giving Ket anybody to throw to on a lot of these patterns, and the Beavers making the mistake you don't want to make. They are offsides, or encroachment, whatever you want to call it, but that'll give 5 yards to the Bulldogs. Fortunately, that will only bring them to 4th and 8. So I imagine they will still keep Ethan Ling out there for his 3rd punt of the day.
That was Gavin Arapa that went through, a very intense player, always been an intense type of guy. We saw it at 12 Bridges last year. I think he got a little eager there to try to make something happen, and why not? Because it feels like the Beavers maybe have a little bit more energy than they had earlier.
Right, but you want to contain that because you don't want to make the mistakes that we've made in the past and make that big penalty. This time, Ling is going to get it off. He's short kick down the right sideline. Takes a pretty good bounce, but out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. So the Beavers will take over on their own 19. Defensively, A+ so far in the second half, Jordan. Offensively, maybe an incomplete with that one drive, and now they'll get another chance here.
And I think the big thing we need to see, we talked about seeing the tight ends getting involved, but the other one is Jaden Anderson does his best when you find a way to get him the ball in space. Right. And so far, he's been locked up pretty well. I think if the Beavers, they've been putting him in motion a lot. If they can find a creative way to get him the ball with a little room to make something happen, that's when he really thrives as a player. So I'm interested to see how they draw that up and see if they can find a way to get your playmakers the ball.
Yeah, he's been open a couple times. He did have a drop in the first half, and he was the target of a couple of long passes that were picked off by San Mateo. So to your point, need to get him going. 8:04 to go, 3rd quarter. Jet Harris back in there, and he will hold on to it. He's still got it. He's got a little room, and he's going to try to get by one guy. He does that, but he's hit by 2 more. He will get a gain of about 5, and we're going to get a late flag coming in from the line judge.
And we have a couple guys popping up with helmets off. I think both of them think the penalty's on the other team because their helmet came off. So we'll see how that one goes. It looks like for San Mateo, and I think he's the one that made the tackle, that was number 98, which on the roster looks like Charleston Waugh.
Charleston Waugh out of Castlemont down in Mountain View.
And 6'4", 290. I definitely think that that fits the bill. And given the other option would have been 96, and there's 96 on the roster.
There you go.
I'm going to do some investigative journalism and say that we got that player right.
You're not Woodward or Bernstein, okay? Stick to the sports pages, my friend. Markoff is going to go against the Bulldogs. And again, attesting to the fact this is probably, and I'm just kind of guesstimating here, their 4th or 5th 15-yard penalty of the game so far.
I mean, they're really giving up. If you told San Mateo you're going to give up 4 or 5 15-yard penalties and only have 7 points allowed, you'd take that. It looks like Cruz is coming in while Harris gets checked out right there.
Yeah, it was a big hit. Now, Harris came out. He was looking for a receiver. Then he said, I got one guy to beat. And as often the case, you beat the one guy, and then 2 more guys come in.
Yeah,
and that's
Harris,
where the problems come.
That was the first time we've seen him use his legs. Something we saw a lot from him last year. First time today we've seen it.
So as you pointed out, Whit Cruz is back. He started the game, had 3 interceptions, and now he is back. He's got Eastman, who's been probably the back for the most part. He's got some room, and he loses the ball, and it's picked off out of the air by the Bulldogs, and they're going to return it here around the 30-yard line. It's still going. Cuts back inside. And down at about the 8-yard line, we've got a penalty on the play, and that one was popped out, picked up by R.J. Witten, who's been a defensive force for the Bulldogs all day long, and he gets it down to the 5-yard line.
And while we figure out that penalty, let's take another look at that, because that was another case, I think, of Eastman didn't necessarily do anything wrong. I think it was just a perfectly placed helmet, and R.J. Witten's not going to find an easier fumble recovery than that. Just falls right in there. Almost fielded it like he fielded a punt. And then we saw Witten, who was a receiver at Folsom a little bit as well, kind of make the play with the ball and read his blocks pretty well.
Yeah, and again, the bottom line of the whole thing is that we wait to assess what that penalty is. Those flags were thrown out of the 38-yard line. As the Beavers really just can't get good luck. They got the rabbit's foot in their pocket and then they lose it. You know, it's happened time and time again. The penalty, it looks like it's going to be on the Bulldogs. Let's see where it's marked off from. That's where I want to see where the penalty actually occurred.
And it looks like it was something on the return.
Yeah, and it's against the Bulldogs, and the referee is coming back all the way back to the 40-yard line. The recovery was at about, I would say, the 45 as it popped out of the hands of Eastman. So the penalty was assessed right then at the 38, and the Bulldogs will be pushed back into their own territory. A 15-yard penalty, to the point another 15-yard penalty, Jordan, that the Beavers don't really benefit from.
And a lot of times you see these type of 10, 15-yard penalties on turnover plays because a lot of times there's guys that are blocking that aren't normally blocking,
right,
and you do something you're not supposed to be doing because you're not used to blocking.
And that's good, great point. 47-yard line of the Bulldogs, but more importantly for them, they've got possession back with 7:40 to go in the third quarter, leading at 28-7. Kett and Collier. And up to the wide receiver coming on the left side. Nice pursuit. Gets away from one. A flag comes in. That, I believe, was Josh Tucker coming around the end around. He ran about 30 yards. He got 2, but we had a flag coming in from deep in the backfield. We'll see what the call is.
And it looked like the pressure initially was brought on by Gerganius, and then Millard kind of completed the tackle there.
Two names we're hearing more and more as we go on in this game. Didn't hear him a lot at the beginning, but I know Gerganius, very impressive. I think he might be the leading tackler on the Beavers team. And he has come up big, comes up big again. Let's see what they call. I don't see any
I think
signal.
they might have waved it off. It's looking like the play stands.
Okay, so it's a 2-yard gain then. And we have a timeout on the field for injury. Let's step away for just a second. We are at 7:30 to go here in the third quarter. It is San Mateo 28, the Beavers 7. You're watching ARC football, courtesy of the Stones Broadcast Networks.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We'd love to see you.
Pass flung on and missed. He got him on strikes at 86, the off speeder. Bruno strikes out the side. Potters get the win 8-5. He's going to look that way. Now he's going to duck down the middle. He's got a guy wide open at the 18 kidder. That's Robert Freeman. And Robert's trying to make a couple of moves. He comes back to the 15, comes down to the 10. He gets a block to the 5. Back here at Beaver Stadium, Edgar Montez is the injured player being helped off, the linebacker out of Elk Grove, Sheldon High School. And he will come off to the side as the play is a 2-yard gain. So it's 2nd and 8, the ball on the 49-yard line of the Bulldogs. Looks like that's Green split out to the right side. Kett is the quarterback. He turns, he hands it to Collier. He moves down the left side and picks his way in. He's still going inside the 40 down to about the 35-yard line, and that is a prototypical Ali Collier run right there, Jordan, as he navigates his way through, and then it's really tough to bring down.
And one of the most impressive things about his running that we've seen so far today is the patience that he has, but the way that he's still able to burst out and hit these holes. And, I mean, that's what makes him so tough to tackle is feels like he's teleporting almost.
And this is a guy with 13 carries and 83 yards, so really good yards, 6.5 yards a carry. We can see why. And he'll probably add another 83 to his total today as it's a first down for the Bulldogs. Kett holding on to it, going to come back to the left side. He's got a man open on that side. Good pursuit by the Beavers, but it's still going to end up in about a 7 or 8 yard gain down to about the 28-yard line for the Bulldogs.
And it feels like they're really setting up these run plays to get some trickery, get some screens in there. That looked like number, I believe it was 89 on the reception, but that is not on the roster, so we will work on getting a number with that one. Could have been number 19, Kason Dahl, a tight end out of Vanden High School.
Gavin Malloy with the pursuit and the tackle, so it's a second down, 2 yards to go, so a gain of 8. Beaver showing some pressure here as Kett in the shotgun. He turns, he hands it off to Collier working the left side, cuts it back. Gang tackle at about the 21, but it results in another first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Takahashi making the tackle right there for the Beavers. But again, when your tackles are being made a lot by your linebackers and your defensive backs, and they're a run-heavy team, that is not something you want for your defense.
I don't know if we talked about 214 or 220 yards a game for San Mateo, 143 yards on the ground, 220 in the air. But today it seems they're content to ride the ground game, because I think they probably got 40 or 50 yards in the air, maybe not that, as Kett hands it off. Collier again, cutting it back. And he pops it out to the outside where he's met and tackled by ARC.
It looks like that was Dutton that kind of held him up for the tackle, and then joining forces there looked like Mason Kelly. And then I think Shamonte Brown also kind of involved in that too. Everyone's so excited they're tackling their own teammates over there.
Well, he ends up at the 22-yard line. I think he was at the 20, and then he was popped out, and he got tackled at the 22. So good pursuit by the Beavers as they were tackling each other and took time out to tackle the Bulldogs. And with 4:45 to go in the third quarter, it's a second down and 10 yards to go for San Mateo. Kett's looking, and comes back. He still can't find anybody. Now he's got it. He's going to throw it woefully short down in the corner of the end zone. He had a guy, but that ball bounced at about the 10-yard line. And Jordan, I continue to be impressed by the defensive backfield of the Beavers, not giving Kett anybody to throw to.
Didn't give him anyone to throw to, and you know the San Mateo line held up well, but eventually when that blitz started coming, that pressure started coming, smart play by Kett to just recognize there's nothing there, live to fight for another down, especially in scoring position.
Yeah, his decision-making has been pretty good here today as far as knowing when to hold him and when to fold him kind of situation, and he sets up a 3rd and 10 now.
Looks like we have I believe a timeout, but no one signaled.
Well, it's okay. They can just take timeouts whenever they feel like. While we have a second, now you had Chris Jackson up here. Halftime, you guys were chopping it up. Tell us a little bit about the show that you guys do together.
Yeah, so we run Three Stooges Preps. It is myself, Chris Jackson, and Joe Davidson from the Sacramento Bee. Just talking about stories of CIF sports. We also talk a little bit of JUCO ball, local college ball, and just really any talking points from around the state of California. We really focus on NorCal a lot, but when there's talking points around the state, I think we try to hit as much as we can.
Three Stooges podcast. There you go. Get it anywhere you get your Three Stooges podcast. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Ball in the 22. Back to action here as Kett has a guy in motion. He's going to turn and quickly hit a wide receiver to the right side, but great job by the Beavers to cut him down, and the gain will be 2, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
And he was looking right there. Jaden Moss, the receiver on that Menlo Atherton product. And then how about a name we haven't called yet today, Sajid Polite, a name we were kind of used to calling last year, mixed in at DB, and finding a way to make an impact here, forcing a field goal. And again, I think we talked about it before, keeping a 21-point game now, potentially a 24-point game, that keeps it at 3 possessions and keeps you with a fighting chance, even though the clock is not on your side.
I think even more than that, even if you're playing San Mateo, you keep him out of the end zone, you're feeling good about it. Kelly, an excellent kicker, will take this one from about 37 yards He had one earlier, was wiped off the board by a penalty. That kick is up, and it is off the upright, no good. So the Beavers get another positive play. This time Kelly from 37 hits the left upright, and the Beavers will take over, and that is what they call a successful situation.
And I know on this side we're talking about you can only get so many chances. You can't keep squandering them. But on San Mateo's side, they know what this American River team is. They played them in the NorCal Championship a decent amount of times in these last couple of years. They're aware of this talent. They're probably telling their guys, you can't keep giving them the ball and giving them positions to get this game closer. I mean, San Mateo's got to be sweating this out, too, knowing these aren't guys you want to just keep giving opportunities to.
Well, they're going to give it to Jet Harris. He is out there. And I think that's Somar in the backfield. Jordan will check that number. But Jet Harris, the quarterback. Somar, the converted defensive back. We're number 33. He'll get the handoff and come up the middle. Not a lot of room. And he'll end up getting about a yard or two. Eastman, the last time he had the ball, gave it up on, as you said, a perfectly placed tackle by the Bulldogs. And so we're seeing Trey Somar out here. It's a second down. They're going to give him 1, so it'll be 9 yards to go.
And I believe Levante Metcalf was the one kind of leading the charge or setting the edge in there from his D tackle position. Also looked like Danny New in there.
So 2nd and 9. Beavers trailing at 28-7, 2:50 and counting to go here in the third quarter from Beaver Stadium. Mark the Phantom low along with Jordan Georgeson. Harris makes it. He's still got it. He's under pressure. He gets it out to, I think that's Dylan Fear, who tries to crawl himself for a couple of extra yards, but he's going to be dropped right at the line of scrimmage, bringing up a third down.
Yeah, great pass coverage right there by Miles Tucker, the defensive back, and AR starting to get these tight ends mixed in, but San Mateo's been watching their film. They know that AR's offense is most successful when the tight ends are going.
Yeah.
They're trying to find a way to zero in on them.
Yeah, and if they were watching film, they probably didn't know who they were going to face quarterback-wise. And it started out as Whit Cruz. It's turned into Jet Harris here. As Harris faces a third down. They're going to call it 8 yards to go, ball in the 22. He's got 2 receivers out to the left, and he's looking that way. He has some time, and now he's under pressure, dishes it out, and actually lucky that one is short to Jaden Anderson. It was lucky he wasn't picked off because it looked like there was a defensive back in the area. That was R.J. Witten, a ball hawk from earlier in the game, and he watched it hit the ground, 4th down coming up.
Yeah, nice job by Harris to escape the pressure there, but just throw not where it needed to be. Anderson was right around that 1st down marker, but again, this Beaver offense has kind of fallen stagnant and is asking the defense to make yet another stop here.
And again, another one where you're at the right hash mark and he's trying to throw the ball back to the left side, and that's a long throw for any quarterback. So here's Landon Richardson with the punt. He's going to be striking it from about his own 11-yard line. A low kick fielded by Long, and he is knocked down right away. Great play by the Beavers, and let's see if the Bulldog guy out down, but he gets up, and it'll be 1st down for the Bulldogs. The ball will be placed right about the 47-yard line.
And it looked like Jaden Moss was trying to maybe clear off some of the Beaver defenders and might have had a part in that tackle there, bringing his own guy down because the Beaver defender dropped. But either way, good punt coverage by AR on that one.
I got the Bulldogs now with great field position, though. 1st and 10 on their 47. 1:47 to go here in the third quarter. No scoring so far in this third quarter. We've got a whistle. Let's see what we got. Flags are flying, and we've got a false start against the Bulldogs. Put themselves behind the sticks. 1st and 15 now to go. And the Beavers defensive unit has acquitted themselves quite well. And I remember 7 of the points they gave up in the first half were via the interception return. So 21 points actually surrendered by the Beavers defense. And they've come out here, and ever since it's been 28-7, they have been pretty stalwart. And they have the Bulldogs at 1st and 15 with the ball at the 42. There's the handoff right up the middle. Picking his way, still going. And a big play on 1st down. Cut that down appreciably and set up a 2nd down at about 7.
I mean, I'm baffled by how he got out of that right there and turned that into a gain. And Phantom, I want to touch too on what you said just a minute ago of the defense kind of holding their own with the pick 6 too. That happen. But the other thing is, with some of the turnovers, look at the starting field position the Bulldogs
Yeah,
have had. I
that's
mean,
a great point.
This defense holding them to 28 is impressive so far.
So second down, 6 yards to go. Ball on the Beaver 49. Collier behind John Kett. Takes the handoff, finds himself a hole again, cuts back 2 or 3 times, still on his feet. Another first down for the Bulldogs, and their MVP of the day, Ali Collier, comes through again.
And it's really been a long time since I've seen a dominant running performance like this. I mean, it feels like everything he's doing, he's finding a way to turn into chunk plays of 8, 9, 10, even more yards. And, I mean, the yards after contact have to almost resemble his rushing yardage today.
Everything he's doing, it seems like it's in traffic. It's not like he hasn't had one, breakaway run or anything where he's all alone. He's just picking through people, the navigator. And he sets up a first down at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Down to 30 seconds left to go here in this third quarter, and the Bulldogs in control at 28-7. Kett holds on to it. He's looking deep, and now he's going to go across the middle. He's got a guy wide open. Catch is made, and the contact, let's see, that is number 13. That's Jalen Arnold with the catch, and he'll have a first down for the Bulldogs.
First time we found his name today. Kind of one of the first times really a Bulldog receiver has gotten open in space right there. And Kett had a lot of time to throw on that play, and he made the Beavers pay.
That's what I thought he would be doing most of the game because he's had time to throw, but it hasn't had any outlets. That time Arnold cuts across the middle, gets the first down, and signals the end of the third quarter. So we're down to 15 minutes left to go in this one. Our score after 3 quarters, San Mateo 28, American River College 7. You're watching ARC football from the Stones Radio Networks. Got dragged there, and I didn't. He's an actor. Oh crap! Who cares?
You got the rest of your life to be, serious. But
just tweet it out and then don't
And
really
then run
respond.
away.
I think it happens to some of us. Maybe it sounds a little personal to you, but
I didn't want me.
Yeah,
to
I don't
sound
know.
that
It just
way.
maybe sounds like that. 'Cause
Generally,
I know
fine.
Again, you're a very bright guy. You
Yeah.
see right into
Right
my
through
soul,
you.
my friend. That's why. Beginning of the fourth quarter here from Beaver Stadium. Mark the Phantom Low along with Jordan Jordan, Riley the engineer on the job. Chris Toy working the scoreboard. Kett holds on to the ball. He's under pressure. He's got a guy open. He hits him at the 20, down to the 15, and down inside the 15-yard line. Kett under pressure makes the completion, and it's a first down for the Bulldogs.
Looks like he found on that play number 87 for the Bulldogs, and using our handy-dandy roster here, that's B.J. Thurman, the tight end out of Berkeley.
Yeah, a couple of catches coming in and a couple of catches today as well. And that time he was the outlet that Kett needed under pressure and sets up a first down at the 13-yard line. No scoring so far in this second half. Bulldogs with Kett handing it off to Collier. Collier gets outside under pressure, cuts it back. He'll get inside the 10-yard line, and when he gets nothing, he gets something.
Yeah, and Collier right there kind of sees the pressure again, bounces that outside, a designed inside run play that he takes outside, turns for a positive gain. I'd love to just see what it would look like from his perspective, like put a GoPro on him for a game. I think I'd get motion sickness after watching 2 snaps.
Plus, you'd have guys flying in front of his face all the time, just flying there, and he's just moving to the side and getting out of the way. Injured player for the Beavers on the field as we have 14-11 to go here in the ball game here. Bulldogs 28, Beavers 7. That's what it was at halftime. And Jordan, I didn't think, we talked about what Beavers want to do the second half, what the Bulldogs want to do. Either way you go, I didn't think we'd still have a 28-7 score as we start the fourth quarter.
No, I definitely didn't. I mean, you could have really seen it going in a way where the Beavers come back in this after getting that momentum at the half. You also could have seen San Mateo just laying the hammer down because they made a lot of self-inflicted mistakes, and they were still leading this one pretty handily. But credit to the Beavers, they have buckled down defensively, and credit to San Mateo too, because both these offenses right now are asking their defenses to make a lot of stops to keep this game where it's at, and both defenses really delivered so far in the second half. And this right here, for San Mateo kind of feels like one where could be a put-away drive, but I think they're kind of content letting as much time tick off the clock here as they try to punch this one in as well.
Yeah, if I'm looking at it from both sides, I think the key so far for me, for the Beavers, is they haven't been able to get anything going offensively except for one play all day. And if I'm the Bulldogs, I like the lead, but I would consider it a sloppy effort right there, and it's something they need to clean up. Turnovers and penalties they need to clean up. So here we go. With all that said, they've got the ball on the 9-yard line. Second down, 6 yards to go, so they can't get a first down before scoring a touchdown. Cat's going to hand it off up the middle to Collier. Collier picks his way through, as he often does, down to about the 6-yard line. And sometimes a Collier gain, a 3-yard Collier gain, is the same as a no-yard gain from somebody else.
Yeah, it looks like it. And that was Martinson right there with the interior pressure. He's done a good job getting through the line, but Collier just so shifty and finding ways to bounce that that's kind of one of the few times that Martinson can get his paws on him.
Yeah, I'd like to see yards after contact with the Collier. I think the number is going to be way up there. Under 14 minutes to go in this one. Third down to go for the ball on the 7-yard line. Get hands it to Collier. He's got a little opening on the left side, cuts it back, and he's going to score. And the Beavers, that's not going to go because the Beavers cornerback was blocked in the back. You could pretty much see that one from up here. He turned immediately to the referee, who responded by throwing a flag at him.
Yeah, and that looked like number 73, Dorian Williams. It was on the block right there. They're going to ding. Looked like he was holding Millard.
On a hold, okay.
Now, the interesting thing is he was close to the end zone when it happened. I don't think the block had a huge impact on the play, but you can't hold that, obviously, and expect that play to stand. Yeah. So Beavers catch a break there, and we'll see if they can capitalize on it.
Yeah, it's a great point. Back to the 15-yard line. So it'll be third down. Again, on the 15, they've got to get to the 3. So a big play right there, negated by the penalty, and Collier behind Kett here. Let's see what the Bulldogs have dialed up. They're going to dial up a fake handoff and a little screen pass. He's got an opening on the left side. That, I believe, is Thurman again, but we got another flag on the play. That one took a little while to develop, but Thurman was wide open on the left side. And let's see what the call is on the field.
And I believe I saw a San Mateo lineman on top of a Beaver lineman, and typically when you see that accompanied with a flag, it is a hold, but
let's see.
These guys are full of surprises.
Yeah. That's a nice thing to say out the referee. They're full of surprises.
They keep me on my toes.
Yeah, they really do. It's holding, and the guy, I swear, looked at you when he showed holding and said, we got it, Jordan. Full of surprises.
I do appreciate him listening to the broadcast even while he's got a job to do.
That's okay. He's got that little earpiece in.
Yeah, it's convenient. You're able to tune in anywhere you are.
That's right. And we got Raleigh, the engineer. He's putting it on Bluetooth and red tooth. He's putting it on everybody's teeth. He doesn't care. At the 22-yard line now, still third down, but it keeps getting more and more difficult for the Bulldogs. They've got to get to the 3, so call it 19 yards to go on a first down. See if they just rely on Collier to get him as close as they can, and that's what they're going to do, and he'll get him down inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line, and they're going to bring out Dieter Kelly now, who's probably a little smarting over hitting that left upright, and he's chomping at the bit to get another chance. He might have been the only Bulldog hoping they didn't make it so he got a chance to kick. I don't know that he was, but I'm just speculating.
Yeah, I think so, and again, like we're talking about, still in a position where it's a 3-score game, and I think the Dieter Kelly fantasy owners are going to like it, and I don't know how much the JUCO fantasy apps are going
3
off
leagues,
today.
Bro. Yeah. 34-yarder from Dieter Kelly. Snaps a little bit low. The kick is up. The kick is good. So Kelly drills it through for the field goal, 34 yards, and gets the Bulldogs the first points in the second half. Makes it 31-7. Went a break here. Jordan, you've got some scores from around Northern California. Why don't you bring us up to date?
Yeah, just checking out some of these other games. Right now, Santa Rosa and San Jose are tied at 17 with 21 seconds to go in that game. De Anza beating Siskiyou 28-10 at the start of the fourth quarter. Looking back at a few more, it looks like we don't have an update from City and Diablo Valley. And it looks like a lot of these other games yet to kick off
later
tonight.
On,
so for the day slate, a couple big results, and then we have some big matchups tonight too. Around 3C2A football.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Beavers. If you want to see top teams, as far as the opposition is concerned, I think 8 of the Beavers' 10 opponents this year are in the top 15 or top 20 or have been in the top 15 at some point already. So they are not ducking anybody, and now they'll send Thali and Eckhart back to receive Dieter Kelly's kick. Here, 12:25 to go, 31-7. The 3 points, the only points put up on the board by either team here in the second half. And Kelly put the foot in that one. That's going to end up in the parking structure. So I don't think you can return it from there.
You can't, but you know what? I think Kelly is making a good case for his CFL tryout video because he's had a few rouges today. I think he's had like 3 or 4. That's the equivalent of a field goal right there. So, hey, Saskatchewan Roughriders, if you are watching this game,
that's info you're not getting from every broadcast, how many rouges the guy has. So
I think that needs to be a stat that we see.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Maybe we can find someone else that wants to talk about American football. 4 rouges. So the Beavers, Whit Cruz is back in at quarterback. He has split the time today with Jet Harris. Cruz was the starter. He's got a whole host of receivers, 2 out to the right side. Cruz, out of 12 Bridges High School. He motions Torres out to the right. Now he's going to look over the middle. He's under pressure, and the throw is knocked out of his hands and dropped eventually in there by the defensive player for the Bulldogs, who's really regretting in life right now. Everything he's ever done in life, he's regretting right now.
Yeah, Levante Metcalf, I think, already was planning. I think he had time to plan his touchdown celebration 2 or 3 different times there. Then it almost ended up with an offensive lineman with the ball. So just so much going on there, a lot to unpack. And he's going to replay that one in his head a lot today.
Am I going to do the bowling pin one? Am I going to do duck, duck, goose? What am I going to do?
I think you should try to do
you dunk.
No, you got to dunk under the goalpost.
Yeah, I don't know, and not saying nothing about him, I don't know that he can dunk.
I think his vertical is up there.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Cruz took a little too much time on that one. Cruz is going to take it himself up the middle. A little bit of element of surprise contributes to a gain of 4. It's a 3rd and 6.
I believe that one actually might have been Frank Curry right there.
Curry back in.
Looks like Coach O may be getting some different looks in. Now Cruz coming back in. So maybe kind of seeing what works and seeing what moves the ball. I mean, at this point, you really just need to find ways to get it down the field. You don't really care who does it.
Trying to change the look probably just for the Bulldog defense. I just give him another guy to look at. Who's this guy? Well, he's running up the middle. Picked up 4, so 3rd and 6. Cruz back in there, as Jordan says. We anticipate trying to connect with Jaden Anderson. Here comes some pressure from the Bulldogs over the middle, and it's thrown too far in front of Luis Torres. Torres was open. I think he sat down, and Cruz thought he would just keep going.
Yeah, and I think that might have been one of those option routes that maybe the connection of what Cruz thought he was going to do and what Torres was doing were a little off. And also the pressure off the edge by Josh Rodriguez, the DB out of Pittsburgh, kind of helped set the tone for that. That was a play that also kind of looked like maybe took a little too long to develop with when that pocket started collapsing and forced Cruz to get rid of it earlier than they wanted to.
Yeah, Rodriguez did a good job disguising the pressure and coming in just a little half step late and getting in Cruz's face. And so it's a punt for Landon Richardson. He lets it go. It's a shortish punt. Fair catch that time, vehemently called for by the Bulldogs, and they'll have the ball at the 42-yard line.
And I imagine that was a point of emphasis for him. I think his coaches maybe told him, hey, if you don't want to get hit like that by a line of players, then you got to really show them the fair catch.
Yeah, we've got Miles Tucker, number 7, and Riley Long, number 7. Don't know which number 7 that was, but he now knows what a fair catch signal looks like. And Bulldogs will take over on the 42. The Beavers offensively not making much of a mark in that drive, turning the ball right back over to San Mateo, who are 3-0 on the season, coming off a win last week over Modesto, in which they were tied at half 21 all and came out and just blanked the Pirates 20-0 in the second half. Motion for the Bulldogs. They've got a new quarterback in there, and there's a pass is completed to number 84.
Quarterback, that looks like Luke Alexander, the Grant High School quarterback that led the Pacers to a state title last year. Really, I don't think in terms of high school football, I've seen a player grow more from first game of the year to the last game of the year as I saw from Alexander last season.
Completed that one to Kayvon Collins, freshman out of Monterey. a gain of about 5, so it's 2nd and 5, ball in the 47. Alexander turns and hands it off to a new running back. We'll catch a number on that running back and give him credit.
I believe that was number 6, if my eyes don't deceive me there, which would make sense because that's Davion Dunkley, a running back from Richmond, California, out of De Anza. 5'8", 175, so not the biggest dude back there, but still showing off that he's just as shifty as some of the guys in front of him.
Jamal Wiley, who is the leading rusher coming in, not in the game today. We have not said his name. Also Malachi DeMoss. We have not seen him in the backfield, and now we've got, as Jordan says, Dunkley, the freshman from De Anza. There's a little end around, clever play, but the Beavers are stringing it out, and they'll make some nice tackle right around the 46-yard line.
Looks like that was Brent Green that led the charge there defensively, and I guess didn't really set the edge on it, but was the one that ends up getting credit for the tackle there.
Kai Hamilton, the wide receiver from Valley Christian, coming on the end around and strung out well, as you said, Jordan, by the Beavers. So good defensive stand by ARC against a new contingent of Bulldogs. And the Beavers will send Eckhart back to get the punt. Ethan Ling with a 40.7-yard average does the kicking for College of San Mateo. Will lead this one 31-7 with 9:26 to go.
It looks like for San Mateo, the punter.
I think that's 81 Ethan Ling. I believe that's Ethan Ling.
I believe so.
Yeah, so we're going to get a timeout here as the Bulldogs got a flag just sitting alone by itself at the 12-yard line. The official said, I might want to pick that up. I don't know. Maybe I will.
Maybe it's a little precursor. Maybe he knows there's going to be a flag on this play.
Maybe. Well, I know. I think he called too much time right there. So here's Ling. Just gets it away. Beavers run into him, and there's going to be a flag on the play, and the Beavers are going to give it up.
And that's going to be Rappa, I think, that had the hit on him, as well as number 39, Micah Bryant. But
yeah, you just really can't do that.
You can't
in a situation like this.
What's tough for Rappa is, like we mentioned before, a kid that plays with a lot of passion. We see it. He's really got a lot of energy out there, but that's now the second penalty he's had on special teams. And as much as special teams is a great way to get yourself into the starting lineup, it's also a great way to get yourself out of the starting lineup if you're making penalties on it.
Yeah, if you're in a situation like that, the benefit, I mean, the risks so far outweigh the benefits. I mean, it's not, you're down 24 points. Your defense just came off a great stop, and you went up. Blocking a punt is a pretty difficult thing to do. It takes a lot of timing and, a little bit of luck. So to pull it off is, a 1 in 20 chance maybe. So you just have to know better and just kind of pull up.
And it's also one of those situations too where I understand maybe being aggressive if it's a game where you're tied at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to go, but when you're down 31-7, there's really no need to try to get something going on that where, maybe it gets it looking a little nicer in the box score, but at the end of the day, no one's going to be going, the block punt was different in that.
And I'm going to take the other side for just a second. Ethan Ling is one of those punters that gets the ball and then runs with it and then does his kick. So it makes it like you're pursuing him a little bit more, and then it looks like he made that effort to go after him. So bottom line, ball in the 45 of the Beavers, and here come the Bulldogs again, and Luke Alexander back at quarterback for San Mateo, who were looking to go 4-0 on the season and drop the Beavers to 0-4. 8:58 to go until that happens. It was Davion Dunkley, the running back, just a minute ago.
Looks like they're kind of getting everyone into the correct position.
Yeah, trying to put everybody in their spots. Alexander will hand it off to Dunkley. He comes around the left side, cuts it back. Beavers with some great pursuit. It's better when the running back can't evade everybody like Collier.
Yeah, and it also it helps too when you got the loose shirt underneath and gives Shamonte Brown something to hang on to. And watching Brown on the line, we talked about his frame a little bit. 6'5", 220, by far the lightest on the defensive line. It reminds me almost like Max Crosby-esque, the way he kind of uses his length to his advantage. And he's made a few big plays just because of kind of having that type of length with him.
It's kind of new edge rusher stature these days. Second down, 8 yards to go. They'll give Dunkley 2 yards on that carry, and he'll take a carry. And that is not Dunkley. I think that's Stowers inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. John Stowers, number 35. And he will set up a third down now. Probably about 4 yards to go. Yeah, ball on the 39-yard line. Need to get to the 35. So Bulldogs bringing out their second unit, getting some work for them with Alexander at quarterback, Stowers and Dunkley and others running the ball.
Jeremy Gentry tried to bring the pressure on that play. Nearly made the play in the backfield, but the timing was just a tiny bit off.
See if Alexander gets the license to throw the ball here. Beavers are showing pressure up the middle. Now they pull it back. Now we'll hand it off to Stowers, and that's great penetration by the Beavers defense. Drop for a gain of maybe 1. That'll set up a fourth down, but at this territory on the 39, I would be surprised if the Bulldogs go to the punt. They'll probably let Alexander try to get the first down.
Yeah, and that was Brown again, kind of leading the pressure with that charge. It looked like Hakeem Reynolds, the linebacker out of Grant High School, in there. So maybe a linebacker kind of helping set the tone for the defense going against his former high school quarterback. We'll see if maybe the familiarity with each other helps the Beavers out here.
4th and 4, ball on the 39. Bulldogs on top, 31-7. We're under 7 minutes to go in this one. And Alexander back to pass quickly across the middle. He's got a slant receiver, and it is complete. That is number 3, Kai Hamilton. Ball delivered perfectly. Hamilton dropped on the 22, a big play for the Bulldogs and a first down.
And that's something you're used to seeing out of Alexander, where he did his best at Grant High School was when he got his playmakers the ball and let them make the play. Yeah. Very much game manager gets such a negative connotation, but
no, I think that's
he
the
runs
best
game
thing.
manager to a T, and he did it right there.
We'll talk about that when you invite me on your Three Stooges podcast. Ball on the 23-yard line. Alexander in the shotgun, and we're going to get a timeout for the Beavers. So with 6:23 to go here from Beaver Stadium, it's San Mateo 31, American River College 7. You're watching Beaver football from the Stones Broadcast Networks.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Miller.
And we'd like to invite you to come see all that Miller's Ace Hardware has to offer and to give our happy and helpful staff a chance to earn your business.
Whatever project you're working on, from lawn and garden to home repairs, you'll find everything you need at the new Miller's Ace Hardware. Power tools from the best name brands, and one of the largest selections of barbecues and barbecue accessories featuring brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg. And if you're looking to freshen things up, visit the paint studio featuring Clark and Kensington, Benjamin Moore, and Magnolia Home by Joanna Gaines. Miller's Ace Hardware, where customer and community service meet. Located on the corner of Madison and Fair Oaks, behind the Ferrari building.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise, so you can have peace of mind. Contact us to schedule your service today.
Back here at Beaver Stadium, 6:23 to go, 31-7 Bulldogs. It's Luke Alexander in the shotgun for San Mateo. First down, ball on the 24-yard line. He's going to hand it inside handoff. Looking around the left side. Nice job by the defense, but we're going to have a flag fly, and it looked like in the area maybe a face mask. The wide receiver, Josh Tucker, was the ball carrier.
Yeah, and it looks like Coach O's trying to plead the case, and I'm wondering if he's thinking it might be a late hit on the play.
Out of bounds, perhaps. It looked when the flag was flying through the air. I thought it said face mask on it.
I think it did. He could have grabbed the face mask flag by accident.
Yeah,
and
yeah, he could have grabbed the wrong one. But in this case, it is not the wrong one. So that penalty will be assessed against the Beavers, and the ball will be taken down inside the 10. Well, let's mark it right outside the 10-yard line, and first and goal for ARC.
And if you're San Mateo, this is what you want to see. Let your twos in and see if they can lead a scoring drive.
Alexander looking out to the flat. He is under pressure, lets it fly to the corner of the end zone. Nobody there. Basically threw that one away and credited the pressure from ARC for spoiling that play.
Yeah, the DBs, again, doing their job, finding a way. It looks like that was a play that was meant to really on timing and getting a guy open in that corner. And the little bump from the DBs kind of made it so no one's there, and Alexander has to throw it no man's land.
So it'll be second down, goal to go from right on the 10-yard line for Luke Alexander, the freshman out of Grant High School. just under 6 minutes to go in this one. He's got Stowers behind him in the shotgun formation. Tailback is John Stowers. He's going to hand it off to him. He'll go down the right side, cut it back in, and cut back at the 5. He's into the end zone. Almost untouched. A nifty run by number 35, John Stowers, and 6 more points for the Bulldogs. They lead it now 37-7.
And we've talked about how elusive Collier was. How about Stowers right there showing it off? 6'2", 225, and he did not look like it when he was run there, cutting his way into the end zone as the Bulldogs are now just pouring it on here.
Yeah, very impressed with the elusiveness of the runners, the running backs from San Mateo. And I think my bottom line for me, impressed with San Mateo, is their offensive line and their defensive line, just the dominance they've had in the trenches. And that extra point is way off. I don't think that's – no, it's – okay, it's way off, but it's right in. So you figure it out.
And that was Logan Calder, a freshman kicker out of Oviedo, Florida. Or I believe it was Oviedo, Florida. So how he ends up at San Mateo is beyond me.
The extra points must be a lot lower.
Well, and it's something with the humidity,
too.
Yeah,
it has to be. They look out for gators or something when they're kicking, because that thing looked really wayward. And somehow, I guess they moved the goalpost over to where it was, which you can do.
Of course,
38-7.
In Florida as well.
Yeah, Florida, anything goes. Yeah, absolutely. So 38-7, as you mentioned, impressive. If you're San Mateo, one of the things you really like is the fact that you put your twos out there and they went down the field, and aided by a penalty here and there, but still made a couple of good plays.
Yeah, and I think one thing, too, that's always tough when you see the twos mix into a game is you don't want to be putting the ball in the air and feel like you're running, rubbing it in. But at the same time, you want your twos to get game experience, and that means you want your quarterback to learn how to make throws at game speed.
Exactly.
And I think they kind of balance that perfectly. Alexander did what he does best in the running game. I mean, showing why they've been dominating this game so far.
Let's see the kickoff from Florida. A different kind of kickoff, too. That one is Thawley at the goal line. Comes up the right side, trying to get outside, but good containment. He'll find his way outside. That was a couple of guys hitting him outside, out of bounds. But referee's right there and said, it looked okay to me.
Yeah, I think it was one of those where he was still inbounds when the hit came, and I mean, a lot of people don't like stuff like that, but we always I've seen plenty of times where defenders will pull up right there, and the offensive player will take that to their advantage and get a few extra yards. So I have no problem with them playing within the boundaries and playing until they hear a whistle.
So Logan Calder getting some run. He's got an extra point. He had a kickoff. He's 5'10", 165. He is another freshman, as Jordan says, from Oviedo, Florida, which is in what part of Florida? I have no idea.
I think it's the Florida part.
Okay. That's why you're the analyst. Okay, 5:46 to go. Beavers, let's see who they've got. Is that a Curry? Yes, it is, and he hands off, and before he can hand it off to Somar, we've got the flag goes up in the air. These are referees in this crew. I noticed they have a lot of good height on their flags.
They do, and it's good form. They've definitely gone to the school. And the one thing we haven't seen yet, though, that I love when you see from a ref is when someone from about 15, 20 yards away spots the hold, and you get to see them really kind of whip that thing in there. And, I think sometimes they try to hit a player in the side of the helmet on it.
We saw one that came from far in the backfield, and that was kind of long and lazy arcing one. That's the best we've seen.
That's
so
a
a Curry
fly ball
is in there for the Beavers. He'll hand it off. That's Somar trying to get the right side, and it doesn't matter who the Bulldogs bring in. They are really good on the pursuit, and they are taking all the angles away from the Beavers.
And that edge right there looked like it was set by Josh Aguilar, freshman linebacker from Bellarmine High School, San Jose, 6'2", 210.
So Curry and Trey Somar are the Beavers in the backfield, as we've got a Bulldog down on the field. We mentioned Trey Somar out of Chico. He was a defensive or wide receiver and converted into a running back. The Beavers have not, we haven't seen Nathan Crawford too much today. We saw Zaire Eastman and Elijah Gutierrez we saw early, but we hadn't seen them again. So we got our eyes on 4 different running backs, but no one really seems to make it. Eastman had a couple of good runs, but did give the ball up on a key play there after kind of broke free of the line. And after the Beavers had got a turnover, they were trying to get a drive going, and he coughed the ball up, and we haven't seen him since.
And I know the big thing, too, is coaches hate turnovers, but I think coaches can kind of stomach interceptions more than fumbles, because fumbles, at the core of it, feel like a running back's fault, but I think both fumbles we've really seen today were more of a product of good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them got punched out on a play, and then another one, just a perfectly placed helmet, it felt like.
That was
kind of
Eastman's,
jarred that
yeah.
loose. And, I mean, you can have as much ball security as you want, but sometimes when a defense knows where to put their hand or where to put their helmet to jar that ball loose, there's not really much you can do outside of stick them on the ball and stick them all over yourself to hang on to that thing.
Yeah, there's sometimes somebody, it's not you making a bad play, somebody just makes a better one. And that's the situation. But that one of the keys or one of the trends that we're going to talk about in this game is the fact that we had a lot of turnovers, especially early in the game, and we kind of gave them back. And you know, the pick six for Watson of the Bulldogs obviously was huge, but you know, for our part, everybody was kind of treading water on the turnovers.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the big thing is when you find those turnovers, you have to capitalize on it. Winning the turnover battle is huge, and it's one thing when you don't capitalize on it, but then to have a few giveaways on your own end, I mean, that's just a backbreaker, especially when you're already playing from behind. You almost need a turnover to get back in the game, and the worst thing you can do is just give it right back.
Curry is the third quarterback we've seen from the Beavers, and I would think that's something they're going to look to going forward as they take on Modesto. It doesn't get that much easier. Modesto next week is trying to figure out who's going to be the signal caller.
Yeah, and the old saying, if you have three quarterbacks, you have none.
That's
The big question is going to be who's going to step up and kind of take the reins of this offense, because you need some continuity there.
So our Curry is going to go back to pass. He's got to get away. He's got a little bit of lane on the left side. He's at the 15. He's at the 20. Still on his feet. Gets to about the 23, 24-yard line. Is a little bit short of a first down, but a big play from Frank to get up there, and he'll have a third down. Or is that? Yeah.
And nice little stiff arm there from McCurry on that as well, kind of showcasing some power. Put the shoulder down and showed why he's listed on the roster as a receiver. And sometimes having that athleticism with a guy with an arm is maybe what you need to spark the offense.
Third down, a ball on the 24-yard line. Need to get to just outside the 26. Let's call it 3. Bulldogs, massive. They look like they're going to put the pressure on, and Curry's going to go right up the middle. But there was that one was not good from the beginning.
No, it wasn't. And I don't know if that was a read option or a quarterback draw play, but either way, there was a communication that wasn't quite there. And I think that's kind of what you see, too, when you're mixing in all these quarterbacks, and now you're a Curry who's listed as a receiver. I mean, he's doing a good job leading this offense, but at the end of the day, it's a tough ask to ask someone to know the reads a quarterback has to make when you're listed on the roster as a receiver. And he might have the QB skill set, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're able to run the offense with the precision of a player that's listed as a quarterback on the roster.
And he just had a very successful run, and you excuse him for thinking he can do it again, and maybe thought that's what was going to happen. So here's Richardson out there to punt for the Beavers. He'll be striking it from about his 10-yard line. Got a good foot into that one. He's driving the receiver back to the 31. And great job by the Beavers on the pursuit and the double pursuit. And the eventual tackle is made at about the 23-yard line. Great job by the punter and great job by the special teams.
And that was Gavin Rappa at first that wrapped him up there. And then Jackson Malborough just laying the wood there. Malborough, a Del Oro product. He was actually the other receiver on the other side of Beau Savay for a little bit at Del Oro High School. Of course, Malborough, a name we're familiar with the Potters broadcast. Younger brother of Quincy.
Quincy has been a Potter and he's been against the Potters, so he's done it. He's done it all.
Now a Purdue Boilermaker.
Fantastic. 25-yard line. Luke Alexander in for the Bulldogs. He's going to hold on to it. He's got time, and he's over the middle, and that ball's picked off by the Beavers. Running it back to about the 21-yard line. A tremendous play in the middle of the field. That's number 53, it looked like. That's Isaac Estacio, who pulls it down for the Beavers, and they've got some pretty good field position right at the 20-yard line.
And on the flip side, how we said you want to see some good stuff from the twos if you're San Mateo. When you're mixing in the twos on defense, you want to see that too. And I think when you're on the wrong end of a game like this too, if you're Coach O, I think you're maybe taking a look at some of the twos that impress you, thinking, who are some of these guys that I can maybe start plugging in with some of the ones in this next week and seeing if I've got something? Because a lot of these are just young players that haven't had the opportunity at this level yet.
So much is true. That's true of so much of community college football or any sports in community colleges. It's guys who haven't played yet or just guys who haven't got a chance yet. And with 3:26 to go, the Beavers with the ball on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Hand off, cutting on the right side, down inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. That's Elijah Gutierrez, who we just talked about. We haven't seen for a while. We've seen him now, and he picks up a gain of about, we'll call it 7 yards. Bring up a 2nd and 3 from the 13.
And I know that's might be the biggest run we've seen from the Beavers so far in this one. And I think a lot of this, too, is kind of seeing, as much as we talked about the quarterback, kind of seeing who sets at the backfield, especially with Crawford being out right now.
So Beavers come up with 2:52 and counting to go in this one. Enough right up the middle. Probably got enough for the first down. Still going. Aided by many teammates. Inside the 10, it'll be a 1st and goal for the Beavers.
I think if you're Coach O, scoring on this drive is almost non-negotiable. You want to end this on a high note and have something you can work with moving forward heading into this locker room.
Looks like Gutierrez was the ball carrier on that one. One of the Bulldogs a little slow to get up, but he's going to make it off on his own power, so that's good to see. 2:38 to go here, and the clock winding down. Our Curry in at quarterback. We had Whit Cruz, we had Jet Harris, and now Frank Curry, who I believe was a quarterback in high school out of Monterey Trail. Has not put the ball up in the air yet, relying on the legs, relying on his running backs. He's going to keep that one, come through to the 5, bounce off one guy and 2, and get down inside the 5 at about the 4-yard line. So he faked it to the guy going around the left side, took it up the middle, and made a nice gain out of it.
And the first hit looked like it was provided by Ryan Cooper for the Bulldogs, and then Elliot Noble coming in and finishing the job as we get down to the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout with the score Bulldogs 38 and the Beavers 7. You're watching ARC football presented by the Stones Broadcast Networks.
Shop and Telling. We are a family-oriented business. We've been in business for over 30 years. We are located downtown Lincoln at 333 Lincoln Boulevard in Lincoln, California. We do automotive repair and 24-hour towing. Our phone number is 916-645-2859, or you can find us on the web.
Back out at Beaver Stadium on a tough afternoon for Beaver fans. It's a 38-7 Bulldogs on top. Beavers are threatening here with the ball at the 4-yard line. It's 2nd down and goal to go. Frank Curry is your quarterback. Gutierrez, the running back to his left. Curry is going to keep it, trying to make his way through. He gets through. He reaches out. Did he get there? No, I think they're going to call it short. We've got the referee coming in from the far side. They're going to mark it down. Probably inside the 1-yard line, sets up a 3rd and goal.
Yeah, I think he got about as close as you could get, and I thought he might have had that with the outstretched arm, but it looks like that knee might have hit the ground before he got that outstretched.
So it sets up a 3rd down. Ball, that's called on the 1-yard line. Dylan Fear, number 85, has come into the game.
I know
the tight end.
I know the Bulldogs have a comfortable lead here, but you know they don't want to give this touchdown up.
They do not. Our Curry in the shotgun at about the 5-yard line as we go down to 1 minute, and the Beavers took off a little bit too early on that one. But I think we got a timeout called by the Bulldogs. So kind of helped out ARC. I think they would have got flagged on that one, but the timeout called by the Bulldogs. And I think to your point, Jordan, they don't want to get scored on here, and they're going to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. And, these two schools do have a little bit of a rivalry brewing over these last couple of years, and nobody wants to give up that last touchdown and give any of their opponents a little moral victory at the end of the day. So I think if you're the Bulldogs, they're going to be treating this like it's a 3rd and goal in a tie game with 1:09 left.
And if you're the Beavers, then you're the golfer who's going to wind up pretty far over par, but you want to get a par in that last hole.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll go play again. I'll go try it again. Get a little bit of success, feeling a little bit good about yourself. You want to score. There we have 1:09 to go in this one. It was 28-7 at halftime, and basically the Beavers, offensively you give all the credit to the Bulldogs because they made all the plays you needed to make and never really gave the Beavers, except for one big play, the pass to Feuerbach, which was, they're going to regard it as a fluke, the one big play. Other than that, the Bulldog defense was really dominant.
Yeah, and I think if you're the Beavers, if you had said going into this at 28-7 or even when it was 28-0, that this game was potentially ending 38-7 or 38-14, I think you take that and say, okay, we can build on something here.
Because it means you did something. Yeah, exactly.
Looks like Akil Martinson's lined up as a tight end here, too.
It works for me. He doesn't know exactly where he's supposed to be. As Curry's going to sneak it. I thought he got over. Let's see.
I believe it was short.
The ball boy on the side says touchdown. I don't know that counts, but it counts in my book.
Well, he has 2 balls up, so
that's
I think
right. Yes,
that's more than what's on the field. So therefore,
one in each hand, and then we got the yes. So that's
the
all.
Ball boy does count.
The referee, I swear, didn't look at the ball. He turned and looked at the ball boy, who said touchdown. Curry sneaks it in. The Beavers are on the board with point number 13. They trail it 38-13. We are under a minute to go with 54 seconds, and Landon Richardson will go on to try to add point number 14. And to your point, Jordan, that's basically trying to set up the end of the game. That's basically what you wanted to get.
Yeah, and exactly. And it gives you something that you can build off of moving forward in the next week because you have another tough opponent in here in Modesto.
Yeah, coming in next week.
That's one where, they're not an ideal start, but looking at 1-4 going into conference versus 0-5 feels very, very different when you look at who they play.
Absolutely, and the Beavers have had histories of having a tough non-conference and then pulling it together in conference as Richardson drills it through, and that is point number 14. But in the past, we've done a couple of years now, and they've had trouble in the non-conference, partially because the non-conference is so difficult. They play 3 or 4 top 10 teams every year in the non-conference, but this year has felt a little bit different, and I think to the point of they're still trying to find an identity, maybe on both sides of the ball, but really offensively.
Yeah, really offensively is where the identity needs to come the most because, we even saw it today. The defense held its own as much as you could have asked. Yes, San Mateo was able to run the ball really well, but this defense delivered 3 takeaways. They were able to deliver some punts to keep this offense in the game, and it felt like, even though they put up 38 points, this defense did what was asked of them, in my opinion, in today's game. But when you're on the field for 2/3 of the game, it's going to be tough to get some continuity going. And, having an offense that can move the ball a little bit, where even if it doesn't turn into points but they hold it, can help combat that a little bit. So I think the big thing is just finding some continuity at the quarterback is where it starts at. And really just finding a guy that you're confident in and learning how to get this offense moving, maybe simplify things until you feel like they can do the simple things right and put points up with that.
So Richardson will kick it off here. I think that's Alex Hensley actually doing the kicking off out of Oak Ridge High School. And that will be at about the 6-yard line. We had a fair catch call for by the Bulldogs. And that was a really very emphatic. That's one thing I think the Bulldogs will do well the rest of this year is call for fair catches very, very vehemently.
I think that's one of the big takeaways from this game.
That's one of the big takeaways I've got.
Limit your 15-yard penalties and work on your fair catches. I've always said Super Bowl caliber teams.
That's right.
Those are the 2 things
the
they do well.
The little things. In the nooks and crannies. That's where you want to look. So 54 seconds to go. And a penalty. No, not a penalty on the 25. It's just people walking one way. I figured it must be a penalty. Luke Alexander will run the Bulldog offense for the last 54 seconds, which will probably just consist of Luke Alexander kneeling twice.
And that's what it looks like we're going to get.
And that will effectively end this one as our final score. We'll read San Mateo, the Bulldogs 38, American River College Beavers 14. Jordan and I will come back after about a minute break here. We'll come back, do a little post game, wrap this one up for you, set up next week when the Beavers take on Modesto. The final 30 seconds are going to run down here. A little hands shaking, and a lot of people got in the game today, which is always good to see. And the Beavers, with that late touchdown, closes to 38-14. But that's our final score as our teams move to shake hands at midfield. We're back in just a minute. Our final score here from Beaver Stadium: San Mateo Bulldogs 38, American River College Beavers 14. You are watching American River College football, presented by the Stones Broadcast Networks.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We love to see you.
Pass flung on and missed. He got him on strikes at 86, the off speeder. Bruno strikes out the side. Potters get the win 8-5. He's going to look that way. Now he's going to duck down the middle. He's got a guy wide open at the 18. Get it. That's Robert Freeman. And Robert's trying to make a couple of moves. He comes back to the 15. Comes down to the 10. He gets a block to the 5. Welcome back to Beaver Stadium, the press box up here, the spacious press box. Mark the Phantom Low, Jordan Georgeson up here. We've just witnessed the number one team in the state, the San Mateo Bulldogs, come out in a pretty convincing fashion, take the 38-14 win over the American River College Beavers. Beavers score late in the game to close the gap to 38-14, but for the most part, San Mateo controlled the ball. As we said, Jordan, one of the keys, they controlled the ball on both sides.
Yeah, I think the big thing with this game was just San Mateo really kind of imposed their will on this one from the start. The defending JUCO national champions for a reason. There's some polls that have them number one in the nation, and I think they showed that today because this is an ARC team that has a lot of talent, but I feel like the Bulldogs kind of had a lot more bite today than the Beavers did, and they showed that right away, got out in front of them right away, forced turnovers, all facets of the game, just really a dominant afternoon by San Mateo.
And as we said a couple of times, if you're San Mateo, that's the perfect kind of game. You won easily and convincingly, but, man, there's a lot to coaches to pick over and say, look, you guys, 38-14, you guys should have had 50 points easy. You know, I mean, they made one breakdown on defense and allowed Feuerbach to get the long touchdown. That's going to happen. But for the most part, I think they're going to talk about sloppiness, penalties. They turned the ball over 3 times and still came out with a 24-point win. So the best kind of teaching moments for the Bulldogs coaches.
And I think that's one of the scariest things if you are the Bulldogs is kind of looking at that going, you know, we won this one so handily against a team that, you know, usually is one of the top teams in the state.
Yeah.
And we could have won this one by a lot more. And I think if you're the Beavers, you're kind of looking at this like, hey, you know, I like that the guys kind of came out in the second half. I like that they were able to salvage a little bit. But on the flip side, too, you're also looking at that like you guys are lucky that this wasn't 52-14 right there in that second half.
Yeah. Okay. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit. It's easy to get down. The Beavers down now 0-4 on the season. Give me one or two things that you liked from the Beavers today.
One thing I did like was, the defensive response. I mean, they were the Bulldogs were running it all over them, but the defense found ways to get takeaways. They found ways to keep this offense in this game. And I really like that they kind of showed that fight. They didn't just kind of roll over and accept their fate. And that's something that you see in a program that has a lot of pride. And then the other thing that I really liked from what we saw was I liked seeing the improvements from the offensive line throughout the game. I mean, San Mateo's pass rush and their push from the D-line was relentless in that first half. And it got to a point where it almost looked like you might as well have been better off taking a knee for 3 downs and then giving the ball back to them with the push that they were getting. So I really liked seeing the offensive line kind of buckle down a little bit. And then the last one, too, I'll even give a bonus one, is I like the penetration I saw from the defensive line today. San Mateo, a lot of their big plays were made by their running back, really just making great plays. And, yeah, you could say they had to finish the tackles, but I think some of it was tipping their hat to a really elusive guy that was evading that. And we've seen the Beavers get that pressure in the backfield, and that turns into a lot of tackles for losses. And I think in a situation like today, they just ran to a running back that was making better plays than their defensive line was. And, maybe if they wrap up a few of those tackles, this game looks a little different when you have them behind the sticks.
Yeah, let's give credit with a tip of the cap. But, our player or their player, doesn't matter. Ali Collier, I thought, might have been the best player on the field today as far as not just the yardage he gained, but the way how impressive he was moving within the confines, getting away, being elusive, taking hits and still going. So I thought he just had an excellent game.
And I think the big thing we saw from him, we saw the bursts of speed and how he was able to hit the holes. But what I really liked about him is the patience he had. I mean, there were times where he would kind of sit in the backfield for a second and wait for the right hole to develop. It was almost like we see the option routes for receivers. It felt like he was like an option route running back where he had options of which hole to hit. It reminds me a lot of what we would see from like guys like Le'Veon Bell back in the day of really just waiting and seeing, and it worked out for him today. I mean, he had to be close to 200 yards, if not over it.
Okay, so the Beavers now 0-4. We talked about it a couple times next week. A game at 1 p.m. We'll have it right here for you on YouTube. American River College Athletics, Stones Broadcast Networks. They take on the Modesto Junior College Pirates, who fell to San Mateo last week, 41-21, but they were tied 21-all at halftime. And I know it's hard to predict. Get a crystal ball, but give me one thing maybe you think the Beavers are going to sit here and say, this is one thing we have to do next week against Modesto, because that is, as you pointed out, the final tune-up before conference play starts.
I think the big thing is getting the running game going, because a lot of this offense, we see those passes to the tight end, stuff like that, but a lot of them are on play action passes that are big chunk plays for the Beavers. And when the running game's not going, no one's biting on the play action. That's how those plays turn into sacks, turnovers, incompletions, missed reads, stuff like that. So I think establishing that run, you have one of the most loaded backfields in the area, is going to, one, make things easier on platooning quarterbacks when you haven't really quite figured out who's going to take the reins of this offense. But two, it's going to open up this offense a little more to where they're going to have to respect this running game, and that makes things easier on your quarterback when they're maybe dealing with man-to-man coverage, or they're not dealing with guys jumping the routes because they know what's coming. So I think that's going to be the big thing, is find a way to establish the run and be the team that's kind of bullying them in the trenches rather than the team that gets bullied.
Very good, sir. That's Jordan Georgeson. Great working with you again, my friend. I'm Mark the Phantom Lowe. We have concluded this one out here as the San Mateo Bulldogs get the win 38-14. As mentioned, we're back here next week, 1 o'clock against the Modesto Junior College Pirates. For me, Mark the Phantom Lowe, for Jordan Georgeson, for Riley the Engineer, Chris Toy, Stones McCoy, anybody else who had anything to do with anything, we say thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.